What's going on? What's going on, my film fam? Welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop. Here with my main man, Willie Jack, man. We got a special one, man, today, man. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, man. It's Thanksgiving Eve. Willie Jack, how you feeling, bro?
Hey, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready to get to it and get through it, man.
Get to it.
Get through it, man.
Hey, I'm trying to make this last as long as possible, bro. I need these days off, man. I need this relaxation, man, in my life, man, before I go back. Because when I go back, it's gonna be a lot more until the next set of holidays come to hit us, man. So I need this, Willie Jack. I ain't gonna even lie to you, my dog.
All right, bro. I feel you.
For sure, man. But yeah, man, of course. I Let the Film Speak show, every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what we do. Of course, we're going to give you the recap of all of the week 11 games, man. We're going to go through that full slate of games for you. But before we do that, of course, I got to touch on those house rules, man. We got house rules. Now, when you walk into the door of Chop and Willie's crib, man, first and foremost, I need y'all to hit that like button, man. That's first and foremost. Hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Just like taking your coat off when you walk in the door. I tell you every time, man, it's getting a little nippy outside, but when you walk in, take your coat off, man. Get comfortable. Secondly, I need y'all to share this video, man. Don't be selfish. Me and Willie Jack got plenty to go around. We got plenty of food. We got plenty of drinks, man. So let your peoples know they can come through, man. Share this video. Let them know what's going on. And lastly, I need y'all to hit that subscribe, man. Hit that subscribe and hit that notification bell, because why else? Why else? Because you want to know when the next time Willie Jack having another shindig at the crib, man. Kick your shoes off, sit back, you know what I'm saying, and become the newest member of the film fam, man. So go ahead and do that for your boys. Like, that share, that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You do this, and I guarantee you, Chop and Willie, you know what I'm saying, they won't let you down, my dog. They won't let you down.
Hey, real deal in the building, man. Shout out to the game, man. Hey, he said show up tomorrow, man, to throw a little, let the arm loose. You know what I'm saying? Dust it off real quick, man.
Hey, man, that's what I was asking you, man. I reached out to you on Facebook to see if y'all was doing some Thanksgiving games, man. I know y'all usually do. I'm thinking about it, man. I'm thinking about it. This mug been resting. You know what I'm saying? That mug still can go a little bit. I ain't lost nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But hey, Willie was nice. Willie was a DN though. Willie get after that QB boy. Hey,
I do a little something, yeah.
Hey, Skinny, I'm gonna let you in on something, bro. I'm gonna let you in on a little something. If Willie Jack and Tom, you seen Tom being here all the time, and Miles in here too. If I had them three boys in St. Louis with me, boy, hey, it'll be some problem. It'll be some smoke in the city,
city.
It'll be some. He said Willie Watt. Oh,
hey, come on, man. Man, shout out to my dog, man. Shout out
you just made his day, Skinny. You just made it. You just called him what?
Hey, man, look, man. Real deal STL Sports in the building, real heavy, man. We appreciate the love, big dog. Come on, man.
Hey, and then Kevin in the building too, man. Shout out to Kevin, man. He say, don't go pulling nothing. We're gonna be filming, bro.
Hey, time out. Hey, time out there, boy. Hey, Tyler, he done lost a hamstring. He done lost an Achilles.
That boy, it about some of everything, man. It was about time for us to sit on down, man. For us to sit on down. But yeah, man, of course, man, we got another great show for y'all. First and foremost, I got announcements, man. And announcements is just this simple, man. Get your picks in. We got 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 Thanksgiving games coming on tomorrow, man. Y'all enjoy y'all Thanksgiving. I know y'all gonna be eating good, drinking good, and it's gonna be games all day. So, man, why else? I mean, what other way is better to enjoy your Thanksgiving than to eating some good food and watching some good football, man? And we got 3 games on the slate. We know we're going to jump into those once we finish up with the recap. So get your picks in, man. Get your picks in so I can put you in. I'm still calculating at the moment, man. I had a busy week this week, man. I had a lot going on before the Thanksgiving break. So I'm still calculating those games. I will provide that update to y'all by tomorrow. No later than tomorrow on Thanksgiving, man. I'm going to provide it to y'all on that particular day. Now, without further ado, Willie Jack, I think it's about that time, man. We got to jump into these games, bro. We got to talk about them, man. We got to talk about them. And the first game I'm going to jump into, Willie Jack, I'm going to go to Chicago. Chicago goes to Atlanta, man, and Atlanta comes away with this W, 27-24. Willie Jack, what's your take on this one, my dog?
Man, you know what? The game itself went kind of how I thought it would, where neither passing game does anything spectacular. You know what I mean? And then both running games kind of lead and fight the day. I thought that Justin Fields would be the one that kind of made that play to make the difference to end up winning the game. And he was successful. 14 for 21, 153, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 18 rushes, 85 yards, a touchdown. So he did what we expect him to do. But the difference in the game, man, the big play, the big splash play that kind of really be the difference was Cordell Patterson, the return touchdown. And so that play right there ended up being the difference in the game. But yeah, other than that, man, Atlanta holds on against the dub. Bigger story, man, is the injury news for Fields coming out of that game. And so there is anything from day to day to season might be over. So that's how wide the spectrum is. But I think he came out and said himself that he tore a couple ligaments in his shoulder. I think it's the throwing shoulder as well. But it sounds like they're exploring all the options as to not, I guess, have him have to fold up the season and get a surgery. And so it sounds like if there's a way for him to play, he's going to play. But I guess question to you, man, do you risk it, especially seeing the progress that now the offense has made? And then at the end of the day, where really are the Bears going? Or, what I'm saying, it's a young guy who wants to play. He needs all the experience and reps he can get anyway. And so I don't know, where do you land on something like that?
Yeah, so I think it really just depends on the injury. If it's something that if he plays, you can really run a chance of hurting it worse, then yeah, I think you go ahead and sit him down. You know what I'm saying? I think we've seen enough to know like what we have in this particular QB and the fact that he can be a part of the future of this team. But if it's something where you can't, maybe it's going to hurt a little bit. It's going to be sore while you're playing, but you can't really injure it more than what you've already injured it. Depending on how he feels, man, if he wants to go out there, he can go ahead and do it. He's still young too. You know what I'm saying? He's a young whippersnapper. He ain't like us. He ain't like us. You know what I'm saying? We get hurt, man. Hey, man. I'll see you in a few months, bro.
If I stub my toe tonight, you can cancel Christmas.
You can cancel it. Christmas next month. But don't worry about it. I ain't gonna be there.
Man, I'm gonna have that same limp. My foot still ain't gonna be recovered, boy. I'll be like, man, hey.
For sure, man. For sure. But going into the game, man, this was a very, very competitive and exciting game and a back and forth game, man.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago jumped out early. But to me, it came down to Atlanta making plays when it counted the most. And a couple plays that stood out to me most, like right before halftime, Chicago is drive, man, and they get stopped around midfield. They go for a long field goal. They miss the field goal, which gives Atlanta enough time to come right back, get in field goal position, and Younghoe Koo hits a long field goal himself to tie the game at halftime. Now, this is only a 3-point game, mind you, so that was key right there for Atlanta in that situation. And then later in the game, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say I got another one for you, but I don't know if you got one. If you got it on your list, so go ahead and rock.
Possibly, but I know later in the game too, Fields has a chance to drive down and tie or win the game, but those are crucial interception, man. That pretty much sealed the deal for Atlanta. Chicago has 2 timeouts at that time, so they use one of the timeouts, but then Algier gets a long run down the left sideline, and they pretty much are able to run the clock out after that. So those were just a couple key plays, and yeah, there probably were a few more. Willie Jack, what was the one you were thinking of?
No, the one I was gonna say, man, is the field leaving points on the field, man. So Justin, man, leaving points on the field. Justin Field leaving points on the field.
Justin Field leaving points on the field.
Leaving points on the field. He missed a wide open Darnell Mooney. Like what should have been like a 60-yard.
I did. That was earlier too. Yeah, I did see that, Willie Jack. You're right.
Yeah, wide butt naked, man, overthrew him by a good 6 yards or so. Man didn't have 15. Nobody within reach of him, probably about 10, 15 yards, and completely missed that, man. That's 7. That's 7 off the board. And like you said, it was earlier in the day, and so I'm not going to say that was the one that cost him the game or anything. But it's 7 points off the board, and you lose by 3. And you know what I mean. So I want to mention it
for sure. And I'm gonna throw this other thing out there. So this was what I looked at too, Willie Jack. These type of games, especially the way that the Bears have been playing the last however many games now, I can't keep count of when they made that switch and changed that offense. But this makes me wonder if they was to keep Roquan Smith and Quinn, you know what I'm saying, 2 of their better defensive players, do they come out on the winning side of some of these games? The last 3 games in a row, they've lost the games by 3 points or less. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So does Roquan Smith and Quinn make a big enough difference to where, all right, the other team doesn't score as many points and Chicago still comes out on top? Because Chicago's been putting up some points. You know what I'm saying? Overall, their offense hasn't been the main problem. You know what I'm saying? But they're giving up as many points as they're putting up on the board. You know, so like I said, like they lost the last 3 games by 3 points or less. You know what I'm saying? So
and here's the thing as well. Honestly, now maybe we can talk about or discuss the return they got on the players or whatever. But it's two players that one for sure you're gonna lose. You're not gonna bring back Roquan Smith, and then the other in Robert Quinn, who's already kind of aging.
Right.
And who knows if he was going to be back either. And so, and then also the bigger thing for me is it worth keeping those guys and not get any return on guys you know you're going to lose, and even still for a season that's not going anywhere. And so maybe Roquan and Quinn could have been the difference to beat this Falcons team. But realistically, are they going to make this team, which looks to be a 6-11, 7-10 team? Does that make them a 10-11 win team and maybe a playoff threat? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? It's like it may have been a difference in this Atlanta game or that style of game, but in the grand scheme, nah. I think, like I said, this is more so experience for a young team that's still coming together. You need those assets for the future are worth more than today's win. Like Sunday's win isn't worth more than that future assets that they need to build a team around Justin Fields.
For sure. And that's a good point, Willie Jack. And when you put it like that, I would have to agree with you.
Appreciate you.
On to the next game, Willie Jack. Let's go over to Buffalo, man. Let's go to Buffalo, where Cleveland goes there, and Buffalo ends up coming away with the W in this game, 31-23, man. 31-23. So, first and foremost, Cleveland, earlier in this game, Cleveland made this more of a competitive game, you know what I'm saying, than I thought, you know, like I said, in the early parts of this game. And the crazy part is, it wasn't Chubb, you know, there was a big part of the run game that made this game competitive, you know what I'm saying, because the Bills completely shut down the run against this Cleveland team. Chubb ran the ball 14 times for 19 yards, but it was more so Brissett, man, who ended up this game with 324 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, I'm going to say this, Willie Jack, because it's the crazy part to me. I don't know what's going on when it comes to Chop and Willie in the morning, you know what I'm saying? But we got to stop predicting, you know what I'm saying, what these players do and calling out these players, man. Because every time we call them out, they end up showing up, you know what I'm saying, or doing the opposite of what we say.
Oh, yeah. It's either right on or completely off. Yeah.
So I don't know who it was, and maybe it was Kevin. I don't know, and forgive me if it wasn't you, but somebody said Amari only performs well at home. That's what somebody said in the group. I don't know if you remember me saying it, and we was like,
yeah, no, I remember, yeah.
Right. You know, you're right. Yeah. And sure enough, Amari Cooper comes out on fire. You know what I'm saying? And he finished this game with 8 for 113, 2 touchdowns on this game, man. So I don't know what's going on with Chop and Willie Money. I think they be watching, bro. I think these players, you know, be checking us out before they game in the locker room. They in the locker room, supposed to be warming up, and they got Chop and Willie playing in the locker room, and they like, oh, they say I only perform at home. Okay, watch me do this then. Watch me step out and do this thing, you know. So that's one thing I want to throw out with that. As far as the Bills, man, I think they just slowly wore down this Browns team, and they end up stretching this lead out in the second half. And it wasn't until like it got really, really late in the game where Cleveland started putting up some extra points. But really, it was Tyler Bass, man. Tyler Bass, 6 for 6 on field goals, man. That's 18 points right there. As you can see, this was definitely less than an 18-point game, but 18 points by on 6 kicks by your kicker, man. You can't ask for more from that, man. And he was money all day, 100% from the field, man. And hey, he had a big day today. So Bills come with the W, man.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say as well, man. And shout out to Jacoby Brissett, man. If our dog Miles is in the building yet, man, Miles, what's going on, man? But he's a big Jacoby Brissett fan, man. He's always chirping and hollering his name, so we'll give him some love. Chop already told you the yardage, man. 28 for 41, 324, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Excellent day. Him and Cooper had it going, like you just said, 8 for 113 and 2 touchdowns. But no, the bigger thing for me, like I said, 6 field goals from Bass. And a couple of those field goals were well within. I mean, these weren't all like 60-yard Justin Tucker kicks. You know what I'm saying? So Buffalo also left some points off the board.
For sure.
That generally, or I'm not even gonna say that. No, it's fair to say now that we expect them to score in some of those situations as opposed to turning down or being forced to get picks. But honestly, man, just like I said, the biggest difference in this game for me, man, outside of everything you talked about, was definitely the run game. So if I told you 2 backs went for more than 80 yards and split about even carries, you'd have thought it was Chubb and Hunt getting busy. Well, no, man, it was Devin Singletary and James Cook. Singletary 18 for 86 at a touchdown, Cook 11 for 86 as well. And so, in the battle of a run game, I guess who would have thought that edge would have went to the Bills in this matchup specifically. But no, the Buffalo gets out of there, man. They get a win, which it was just time to get one for sure. And like I said, that you get out of there healthy. Like I said, I don't think any big injury news coming out of that game. So that's all they were looking to do. Playing away from home as well, man, on the road in Detroit. But like I said, that's all you can ask for. Get out of there safely, get in there, get a win, get out home, and get safe. So, all right, and leave safely. So that's all you can ask for.
For sure. And like I said, they really did end up, stretching their lead out, and later in the second half of the game, or in the second half of the game in general. And later in the game, when it was pretty much out of reach and they had to do 2 onside kicks, is when Cleveland was able to put up some of those extra points. So, yeah, that's how we can look. You can look at it or take that with a grain of salt, as much as you would want. So, that's kind of how that looks. Now, let's move on to the next game, Willie Jack. Now, this one was a little bit more competitive than I expected, man. A little bit more competitive than I expected. We had Philadelphia going to Indianapolis to take on the Colts, man. Philadelphia wins this game 17-16. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to go ahead and start this one off, Willie Jack. I'm going to go ahead and start. So the way the game started, man, you would have thought the Colts was showing that they could be the team that we thought they were going to be before the season started. You know what I mean? The team that we thought that they could have been when they originally brought over Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had it going to Pittman early in this game. JT was running well. Jonathan Taylor, he ended up punching it in for the touchdown early, man. And they were moving the ball pretty decent. But that Eagles defense, man, they tightened up. Around that second quarter sometime, they started to tighten up and they started to get real stingy and stop allowing the Indianapolis Colts to do everything that they were doing in their first drive of the game, man. And this actually turned into a defensive game. It wasn't until the fourth quarter is when the real game started. Okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fourth quarter is when the real game started. And at that time, the Colts were up 13-3. Okay. So the first drive for the Eagles in that fourth quarter, Hurts drove down. They scored a touchdown. They throw a touchdown to your boy. What's my Watkins? They throw a touchdown to Watkins, man. So they hit him on the touchdown to make the score 13-10 at that point. And then you have them going back and forth a little bit in that fourth quarter. Colts end up getting a field goal, but then it comes down to Hurts down 16-10 in that fourth quarter with probably a little bit over 2 minutes left. And he ends up driving his team down. They go for it on a big fourth down conversion by Jalen Hurts. And they just say, look, we're going with Hurts, man. They called 3 run plays in a row for Hurts, and he ends up punching it in for the touchdown. They go up 17-16, and the defense seals the deal for the Eagles, man. And for the Eagles, I really like this win because it showed more of their composure. The same thing that we saw earlier in the season against the Jaguars. The Jaguars went up like 3 touchdowns early in the game against the Eagles earlier this year, and Eagles showed their composure and slowly but surely start to wear the Jaguars down. And it was like, hey man, hey, I don't know what y'all thought this was, man. We do this for real. Like, they don't care about the little 14, 21 points you put up. Hey man, you got to play us a full 4 quarters, and that's exactly what it was this game too. The Indianapolis Colts defense did play very well though, so they didn't just give up a lot or allow the Eagles defense to just bully them. Allow the Eagles offense to just bully them at all. So they played pretty well. Now, this is my one thing in this game. My last takeaway, and I'll let you go too, Willie Jack, is for the Colts. Are they a better team? You know what I'm saying? Because you can look at this one or two ways. Last week they came away with the W, and Jonathan Taylor looked really good. This week they didn't come away with the W, but they were very competitive in this game against a top 2 or 3 team in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So this is the same team that just was taking L's to some of the bottom half in the league. You know what I'm saying? So has Jeff Saturday did something to adjust what this offensive line is doing and do things for this offense to make them and this overall team to make them feel like, hey man, we need to be playing a lot better? Like, I don't know, man. Well, it's hard to judge. Of course, we're gonna see them again this week, but I'm starting to wonder, man. That was a very competitive game, man, for a team that we thought was a bottom of the league team. You know what I mean?
No, exactly, man. So, like you said, broke down the game pretty good there. But no, I think you hit the nail right on the head. That's where I was going to go with this as well, man. There's been a distinct change in the appearance of this team since Jeff Saturday got there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So last week, Matt's back in. Jonathan Taylor gets 30 touches, over 150 yards to get a dub. It's like, well, damn, how it took us 11 weeks to figure out that's the recipe. Jeff Saturday had to come in here and remind us that's the recipe for success. And so, but then just kind of like we were talking about on Sunday, well, like, like that's a teams, when we talked about this, teams are looking for a spark. And so sometimes a little bitty change, a little bitty tweak here. We're doing something different this day. If the cafeteria normally serves pancakes on Tuesday, everybody shows up Tuesday and now it's French toast. Like, I'm telling you, teams are desperate to find any little spark to change and get the momentum going. And so was Jeff Saturday just an example of that? And then you come out here this game and you play with a team that there can't be no question about it, man. A legitimate Super Bowl contender, Super Bowl forerunner in the NFC for probably most people, you know what I mean? And so a very competent opponent. And then you come out there and put up the performance this week, building on what you did last week that Chop just told you about. The biggest thing for me in this one as well, like that defense, the offenses looked putrid as well, but there was an obvious issue with the offensive line. You know what I mean? So you could see like they weren't blocking in the run or the pass. And so like, okay, well, there's an easy fix there. There wasn't no quick remedy for figuring out what was wrong with that defense. You know, you bring over Gilmore, Buckner was still there. Now Leonard was in and out with injury, etc. So I'll give him that. But still, I mean, just looked like it just looked very, very excuse me, I can't even talk. Very poor at times for no clear and obvious reason. And so to see them as well, like you said, man, be as competitive in this game, a game in which, like I said, it took essentially a 2-minute drive for Jalen Hurts in the fourth quarter to win and put this game away, to give them that lead. And so, like I said, they fought tough, they played well. I'm curious. Well, here's why I'll throw back at you. Is there a chance here now with 6 weeks left in the season? How many games do you think Jeff Saturday needs to win to maybe to realistically keep this job? Because I don't think anyone expected, for one, that the turn and I don't want to call it a turnaround. I don't want to oversell it. He won one, he lost one. But it's just as far as the look of the team, the feel of this team when they walk into the stadium now. Because now I've got way more confidence in them, whoever they're playing this coming week, than I did 2 weeks ago when Frank Reich was still in charge. And I don't think Reich was necessarily I don't think he's a bad coach. I liked some of the things he did. But no, man, so I'm curious to see, man, does Jeff Saturday, crazier things has happened. Does Jeff Saturday go 4-2 and make it really hard for Irsay to let him go? Irsay, who's already one of those owners who's already, he's pretty tight and pretty close with the players, more involved or more contact or more of a direct relationship with the players than maybe other owners, maybe not to the extent of a Jerry Jones, but of that ilk. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I don't know, man. Let Jeff Saturday go 4-2 down this stretch, man. And especially in that AFC South where Tennessee is rounding into form, but that division's not over. You know what I'm saying? So what? They're 2 games back of Tennessee, even when it's all said. Well, maybe 3 now. 2-3 games back of Tennessee when it's all said and done with 6 to go, 6 weeks left. And so, man, they can make this thing real interesting if some things happen to go their way.
So I'm looking at their schedule, and they do got some winnable games. Now they got some tough games too. So their very next game is at home, but Pittsburgh's coming.
That's an L. Yeah. Okay, that's an L. Okay. So they got 5 more chances. All right, what's the other 5? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. Go ahead.
The next one after that is at Dallas.
Yeah, that's an L.
Then it's a bye week. Then it's at Minnesota.
Minnesota gonna have something on their mind, man. That's an L too. Damn.
The next 3 games, the first game and their next 3 games are probably the most winnable games. So they got the Chargers, the Giants, and then they got the Texans. Those are the.
I don't know why you couldn't put no Chargers in the soft list. Those Chargers.
No, it's not. It's not a soft list. I'm not saying it's soft, but I'm saying winnable games. Winnable games. Like, to me, if they got.
You ain't nothing. She just got a nice personality, Chop. Is that what you just told me, man? Like, man, she ain't ugly, man. She funny. Come on, man.
No. What I'm saying is, if they got Buffalo, the Chiefs, the Eagles if the Eagles, any of those teams is on their schedule again, yeah, and they're not winning those games. Yeah, there's a chance that they can win against the Chargers team, man. They hasn't been playing the best. Now they look better against this Chiefs team, but they always do. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing new.
No, that's fair. They do always look good against the Chiefs, and
the Chargers are the Chargers right now are a 5-5 team, bro.
Well, they're 5-5, but I think they're 5-5, much like the Bengals 5-5 now. You have to apply a little context. You got a banged up. You lost your 2 You lost two $20 million receivers. Where's Ike Turner at? Matter of fact, Ike, man, I'm in here trying to defend your boy. You ain't even in here, dog. Come on, man. I need to see you. But in fairness to the Chargers, they lost two stud receivers, both on $20 million guys. Your quarterback's been injured and banged up, playing through a lot of stuff, getting knocked out of a couple games, coming back in. They've had a lot going on. Your one of your big free agent acquisitions on defense flopped. And $80 million to JC Jackson, boy, y'all ain't seen a nickel of that return yet. So hopefully next year when he comes back, he makes good on that bread. And then, like you said, and now you lost Joey Bosa, the stalwart and longtime leader of the defense, him and Derby. Like, bro, there's been a lot going on with that Chargers team, just in fairness.
Okay, you're right. You're right. In fairness, it's been a lot going on with them. But I will say, if they are as competitive as they were against this Eagles team, that's still a winnable game. If that's the team they are,
if you compete like you did with that Eagles team, you can beat anybody because the Eagles are at the top.
That's my point.
Yeah, you can beat anybody at that point.
That's my point. So but you're right though. If Jeff Saturday comes away 4-2, hey, why not? Give him the job, man. Because to me, he's proven it.
Coming in, yeah.
He's proven it. Why go get another guy when you got a guy right there that in the office or in the building right now that's showing you that he can make a little bit of a difference, man. Because like you said, this team looks like a different team. Looks like a different team. He brought Matt Ryan back in as starting quarterback. Like, come on, man, stop playing. We ain't gonna play these games. I ain't gonna play the games everybody else be playing. I'm gonna do what's right, and what I see is what's right. And I'm gonna come on, Matt Ryan. You're gonna lead my team. You're the leader of my team. You're a veteran. You know what's going on in here. You know what I'm saying? And let's just go and do this thing. We're gonna try to pull away with this W. So that's what he did. I want to see, man. I actually hope he goes 4-2. Hope he goes 4-2. Now I don't know which four of those teams he'll beat, but hey, I hope he does, man. And we'll see what happens. Now I don't know if that gets him a playoff spot because the AFC is loaded. And when I start looking at all those records and stuff like that, man. But yeah, man, I want to see it. I want to see it, Willie Jack.
Gotcha.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and jump into both of our games of the week, man. I want to do these back to back. These were our games of the week before they actually played out. And the first one I want to talk about is the surprise one, Willie Jack. I want to talk about the surprise one. I want to talk about Dallas going to Minnesota, man, and winning this game 40-3, dog.
Man, first off, Tom, and you know what? And Tom, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Tom ain't even got here yet. You better be at a workout, boy. You better be working out. Because, yeah, boy, you owe me some money.
Hey, he told you to go. He told you to go by 15, bro. I was like,
he said 17. Bro. He said 17. And man, and I ain't gonna lie, man. I was trying to get a boy some love, man. I went ahead and dove in, man, and play, boy, and yeah, got some.
Hey, look, I bet you would never say we owe him again. We don't
owe him. No. I like I said, I gave him that one because when he called that baby Moss, I was like, man, hey, I gotta reward him with something. I gave him one, but getting into the game, man, 40-3. Dallas comes out there and puts it on Minnesota, man. Honestly, the story of the game really was offense, defense came out, or excuse me, offense, defense. Dallas's offensive and defensive lines really set the tone and tempo for this game on both sides of the ball. Starts with the defense. Micah comes out in this game early in the first quarter. He gets a strip sack on Kirk Cousins. Now, I think it only turns into 3 points, but just already, like, that was a precursor for how this day went. I think Dallas finished with like 6, 7, 8 sacks in this game. Micah finishes with 2. Good day for the Dallas offense as well. Dak Prescott, 22 for 25, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns. Y'all know. I'm sure y'all saw who got both of them things. TP, man, and this is what's so frustrating for me, bro. When we was talking about this on Sunday morning, I'm talking to Tom, getting hyped up. I ain't even talk about TP at all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even talk about TP at all. And what's he do? 15 for 80 on the ground, 6 for 109 in the air, 2 touchdowns, long one of 70 yards. Man, hey, man. Free TP, man. My dog Jarrell ain't in the building today, boy. Jarrell, I'll give you a pass, man. This might be your first missed day of class, man. But if he was here, man, he a free TP in the chat for you. Oh, we got one. Yeah, Chop said it. Free TP in the chat, man. Did his thing, got busy, man. The throw and catch on that wheel route, super impressive. And I know that route, that catch and that throw and catch, I don't think get enough credit. That's a very not only difficult throw, honestly, and the catch for the running back to make that. That's not something standard in the skill set of most running backs. So excellent show of hands and finish burst of speed by my dog TP. Zeke got some love in this game as well, man. 15 carries for 40 yards, stole 2 touchdowns from TP. Could have been a 4-touchdown day, but it's all good. On the other side, man, horrendous day for Kirk Cousins, man. 12 for 23, 105 yards. And like I said, man, was running for his life all day long. Dalvin actually had a good or decent statistical day, 11 for 72. But yeah, definitely, man, the story in this one, man, Dallas came out there, man, set an early tone and tempo. And then especially it started a little slow, like I said, field goal, touchdown, field goal, if I remember. And then from there, I think TP gets the touchdown right before half, another 30-yard touchdown catch. And I think that gets it to 20-3. And then from there in the third quarter, salt that thing away. The backups come in and play a lot of time in that fourth quarter. So, man, yeah, dominant win by Dallas on the road.
All right, well, I'm gonna say y'all some time here, man. I'm not even gonna evaluate the game because I ain't gonna lie to you, Willie Jack. I literally took nothing away from this game, nothing away, and the reason why is because of the reason that I talked about before the game. You know, Minnesota coming off that win against that win against Buffalo that took everything. They took the wind blowing their way. It took, you know, everything for them to win that game. A crazy one-handed catch. It took a fumble. Like, it took a lot for them to come away with that W. A very emotional game, a hard-fought game. This is just what happens, man. This is what happens. And honestly, I didn't care who Minnesota was playing this week. 75% of the teams, if they was playing against this week, I would have picked the other team to win. That's just the way it goes, man, because it's hard to come back off of that, you know, and it showed. That team didn't show up. It's hard. It's hard to throw a fat party tonight. You know what I'm saying? A super entertaining party, and put everything together, entertain all night, and throw another one back to back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? The next day you ain't gonna have that energy. You ain't gonna have that same feel, man. It's hard to do that. So I felt that was how Minnesota was gonna come into this game. And also with it being Dallas, who is, I think, you know, one of the better teams in the NFC, it was just going to be a hard game for them. You know what I'm saying? I expect Minnesota to bounce back. I expect them to still be good. Like I said, I don't take much away from this game. 40-3. That's not who Minnesota is. I don't think Dallas, if they play it again this Sunday, is going to beat them again 40-3. It'll be a different game. It'll be a more competitive game. Now, Dallas may still win. Maybe Minnesota wins. I don't know, but it'll be more competitive than 40-3. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm coming from with this game. And then, yeah. And last but not least, like, y'all ain't heard me say it because I ain't never said it, because I ain't never gave him the credit, because Willie Jack always coming for me, man. Hey, man, free TP, man. Free TP.
Come on, man. Jump on the wave, man. You can't tell me TP didn't look like one of the top 5 most explosive, most dynamic backs you've seen.
Hey, man, 100 yards in the air, 80 on the ground, man. Hey, you can't ask for a better day. And I was happy about it because you know what? That boy won me my fantasy week. Won me my fantasy week, man. So, yeah, free TP.
Yeah, but no, man. Now, here's the thing I was going to say, and kind of touching on what you just said, because I didn't, and this is a reason why, man, I don't know what's going on, dog. I keep losing height on my damn chair. It just keeps slowly shrinking, cuz. But anyway, this is what I was gonna say about Minnesota. And what we had kind of talked about, or what I had mentioned about Minnesota earlier in the year, is like, man, it's the quietest 7-2 team in the league. You know what I mean? A team that went out there, opened up the season by putting their paws on Green Bay, exercising that demon. You know, Aaron Rodgers been terrorizing everybody in that division for years. So you get that off. You get one on Buffalo. I mean, so I'm saying they've got some nice notches on their belt, and they have been playing damn well. You know what I mean? Like, very well on both sides of the ball for sure. And then to come out and it's, well, like I said, games will get away from you, and this one definitely did, especially when you're only playing one side, when you're only fighting on one side of the ball. You know what I mean? So I don't even want to knock this against Minnesota's defense, like I said, because there's only so long you can hold that down before it breaks. But anyway, but the bigger thing is going forward now, I guess. That's you. So where are we at with Minnesota now? Are they still a contender? Because I think they had just fell into the category of, like, all right, we begrudgingly, everybody's got to consider, okay, you're a contender now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I was after the Buffalo win. Now, mind you, like I said, if they play Buffalo 9 more times, they lose all 9. You know, too much had to go right for you to get that dub. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they lose 8 more times if they play on 9 more times. You know what I'm saying? They lose 8 out of 10 of the matches, I'm convinced. But the point is, I finally came over and was like, okay, you're a or you're well, I'm not gonna say Super Bowl contender. I didn't have that style of aspiration, but at least a threat to make it really interesting. At least a threat that like nobody's gonna respect them, but maybe they come in there and maybe they do find themselves in that NFC Championship game. And then with Dallas, the kind of things I was saying were I was still feeling like I was waiting on Dallas to kind of really kick it into gear, really take that next step, or really like show, you know what I mean, really like kind of elevate and put together a performance, and then they actually answer the toll and do that. And so it's like now going forward, I don't know if I'm not as I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of this AFC outside of Philly and San Francisco, man. I don't know.
And that's why I said I don't take nothing away from this game, Willie Jack. Nothing, because I still view Minnesota as a contender. I still think they're a contender in this team, and the reason why I think they're a contender because what I've been seeing consistently from them, not from this one-off performance. Consistently, they got so many weapons, man, and they've been attacking teams for so many different ways that, man, they are capable of beating just about anybody in the NFC on their road to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And then Dallas, I think them because of not only, the dynamic presence of, the running back position, Dak being back. They do have some solid weapons on the outside, but their defense too. They have a championship style defense. You know what I'm saying? That it really, if they can get ahead and they can get you in a position where you got to pass the ball, they can get after you. And if they can get after you, man, we all know they can change the game. We've seen Von Miller change multiple teams, and especially in the playoffs and turn them into Super Bowl teams, with the way that he can get after the quarterback. So yeah, man, I think those three teams are contenders for me. Philadelphia and like I said, San Francisco too. When we talked about that before the game too. Those four teams are the contenders for me for the NFC. So those are my four.
Yeah. Because I get, and that's why it was so hard for me. Because if we're talking, Minnesota's going to the playoffs. I think that's confident. Am I confident Minnesota realistically can get out that NFC and win the Super Bowl? I don't feel that way. And then even Dallas, I guess I feel better about Dallas, especially coming off this win and with the head-to-head. But yeah, realistically, man, this NFC is a two-horse race, man. And I said that for weeks now, y'all. I told y'all Philly and the Niners going to that NFC Championship game, man. And I don't see anything delaying that matchup.
You feel better about those teams, but like I said, I think there's a chance. Is what I'm saying. I think there's a chance out there that they can do that.
Yeah, I can't believe they came out there and got spanked like this at the crib. You know what I'm saying? You can't get 40
crazy.
Balled at the crib, dog.
Don't take nothing from him, Willie Jack. I'm telling you, bro. Man. Trust your boy. Don't take nothing from this game, bro. Ain't nothing you can take away from it, bro. But that's fool's gold right there. That's fool's gold. Ooh. They showing it to you. It looks shiny. You know what I'm saying? It looks shiny. It look good. It's gonna sparkle on your neck. Wait till you wake up in the morning and your neck green. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you, don't take nothing from this game. Let's move on to the next one, man. Another game of the week, which actually turned out to be probably the game of the week. Okay. Let's go. Kansas City, man. They go to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, man. And they win this game 30-27, man. A great matchup. Great matchup, man, in this particular game. And a matchup I love to see. And Project Pat pretty much said, man, hey, I'm still Project. I'm MVP, man. I'm still the MVP front runner right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm that dog right now. Willie Jack, what was your take on this one, man?
Man, yeah, honestly, man, just like you touched on earlier, the Chargers and the Chiefs, man, is always an entertaining matchup. And honestly, man, I feel bad I'm not gonna say I feel bad, but this game was definitely there for the Chargers, man. It definitely was. You take the lead, you give the ball, you take the lead with 1 minute 27 seconds left, and we already know about 13 seconds. You can't even, man, Pat. That's what. There's nobody else in the league, at least right now today, that man. No lead is safe, bro. You can legitimately say no lead is safe. The time left in the game ain't safe. Less than 1.5 minutes didn't matter. Petty goes out there and does what he does best, man. 20 for 34, 329, 3 touchdowns. Him and Kelsey really had it going this day. And now here's the thing I want to point out as well. Ike, man, where you at, Ike? I'm talking about these Chargers again. You ain't in here, man. I want to talk to you about your dog, Derwin James. Now, Derwin's a stud. He's a beast. Now, I think this was a rougher game for Derwin, man. He has the big holding penalty on Kelsey on 3rd down. It It was either third down and it would have forced a fourth down, or it may have been fourth down and they had to go for it. I'm trying to think late in that game. But he extends a drive. He extends a drive with a holding call on Kelsey. And it was a good penalty. He had him hemmed up. He had him snatched in here. He had him up as a flag. And then also he's the guy that Kelsey gives it to him on the game-winning touchdown as well. Just lost him on the route, runs it off and scores a touchdown. Pacheco looked good. Isaiah Pacheco. I wish Miles was in here as well, man, because he was.
It's about time to go and get that man that job, man. Stop playing. Stop playing. Get that man that job. Let that boy spin. Let that boy spin. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was down. Y'all been trying to still get him some time, man. I know y'all trying to save y'all face because y'all drafted him in the first round or I think it was the first round. Man, put that boy on. He got injured anyway. Don't get me wrong. I don't want him to get injured. But, hey, man, let Isaiah Pacheco spin, man.
That's already his job. And our dog Miles, man, he's a part-time Chiefs fan. He was in here arguing for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He was arguing in the chat with, about Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man. They wooies. But I'm like, look, man, when a dude that had 3 years to cement that job, I ain't mad they looking at somebody else in year 4. He had 3 years to take that job and he didn't, and he couldn't. You say what you want to, injuries, etc., and some of that is coming to play. But the point is, like I said, man, he had ample time to cement that job, man. And Pacheco looks to be same thing I was telling Miles, man, when we were talking about in the group. Pacheco looks to be a steal, a 7th round guy. That first off makes your roster, and now he's starting, and then he turns in 15 for 107 in a premium primetime matchup against a viable division rival. And so giving you everything and more you can ask for. Solid, good day for Herbert as well, man. 23 for 30, 280, 2 touchdowns, one interception. Had his guys back, man. Keenan Allen, I don't know if he had 100 yards, like 5 for like 90. He had a big, I think, 35, 40-yard catch. Now, he did have a costly fumble. I'm still not sure how I feel about that fumble. Even still, and I went back and watched it. I still don't know how I feel about that fumble, but a costly fumble, man, for sure. Good day for what's that dude's name? I can't think of his first name. The other dude, Palmer. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Palmer, 8 for 106 and 2 touchdowns as well. And so, but yeah, just like when I saw this game, man. And now, like you said, the Chargers always play Kansas City tough. That's divisional matchup, rivalry, and so you're gonna get performances like that. But like when I see that game for the Chargers, it really does tell me like this is a team that, like I said, they're 5-5. A lot of BS they had to get through, a lot of stuff they had to work through and get to, and now hopefully they're getting healthy at the right time. Because I definitely want to see this team in the postseason and really make some noise, man. This is a team that, like I said, everything we said about Philly, we could say about Kansas City in the AFC. So if you can compete and swing and trade touchdowns and trade blows with Kansas City, I mean you can do it with anybody. You know what I'm saying? And so this Chargers team, who's hopefully now on this last home stretch of the season, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? I'm curious to see how they finish this season, and then also it's going to tell me a lot about the coach, man, Brandon Staley, because like I said, they're 5-5 right now. You got your 2 studs back. You found a very good contributor in Palmer. Well, he's been a known contributor, but even still now, he really carried that load while these guys were out. And so you've got some pieces there. I want to see how they finish this season and see where they wind up, because they've got the talent to be a real force in their division or in that conference.
Gotcha. Skinny came through, man. Skinny came through with a question, man. And I wanted to touch on this one before I get my take. I think you summed the game up pretty well anyway, but he says, with all the weapons that went down with KC, man, could that make them a front runner to grab OBJ? Willie Jack, man. What's up? You want to answer that question, man?
No, I don't think so, because honestly, man, OBJ, he has his ring. And I think the thought of playing with Patrick Mahomes is enticing and very enticing. But I think OBJ at this point, he's definitely in the back half of his career. Realistically, because OBJ is what, 29 or is he 30 now? He may be 29, 30. And so he's got less than 5 years realistically left in this league. And now he's already a champion thanks to LA. You see what I'm saying? And so at this point, man, I think he misses Broadway. You dig what I'm saying? I think he misses big lights. I think he misses a big stage. I think he misses, you know what I'm saying, playing in the biggest arenas in football. And Kansas City, for everything it is, loyal fan base, excellent team, excellent championship contender, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not big time. It's not Showtime. They've got big time and Showtime players. Not even Travis. Patrick Mahomes is big time. Patrick Mahomes is Broadway. But that's not the town. I think Dallas is the team that makes the most sense to me. I really do. Because another thing as well, Kansas City gets cold, boy. Kansas City up the road from St. Louis, across the highway from y'all. Kansas City get cold hell. OBJ don't want to play there. So if he can find a team that looks like it's ready to compete for a championship, he's not going to anything less, and has the benefit of warm weather or a dome, then the only team that makes sense of the teams we can shout out would be Dallas. And so I think Dallas is the play. And then also, I think going to Dallas, I don't think he's looking to go somewhere and be the second flute and be a compliment again. You know what I'm saying? Like it was in St. Louis, or excuse me, like it was in LA, where you know what I'm saying, you go in, you know there's an established one in Cup, and then you just got to get busy and work around Cup. And now in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl, he supplanted Cup for some stretches, but I still just don't think. I think he put his time in, he got his championship. He wants one more run of being the guy in a big enough market, which Dallas is going to give him. There's only 3 big markets in the NFL, or as far as like traditional huge markets. There's New York, there's LA, and there's Dallas. He's been in New York, he's been in LA. The only one he ain't touched is Dallas. And so, I think it makes sense because there's room for him to go there and be the biggest star on that team. CeeDee Lamb is a nice young player. He ain't primetime. He's not. What Stephen A. Smith be saying. He's not big time. And that's not a knock against his talent. I'm talking about his overall persona around the league. I'm talking bigger than just, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like bigger than just skills and talent. Like when Kobe and Iverson came to the league, Kobe was a more skilled player. He was never as big as Iverson. You know what I'm saying? Like Iverson took the league by storm, bigger than that. The things he did off the field were just as big a story as the things he did on. The way he looked, the way his dress, his braids, his tattoos, anything he moved or did was a story. You know what I'm saying? So I think OBJ, man, he wants to go somewhere, be the guy. He goes into Dallas, he's the unquestioned number 1, and they have a chance to really make a move. And man, there's no better outcome. He goes to Kansas City and wins a ring with Patty. Well, that's just him winning a second ring with Patty. He goes to Dallas and they win a ring. That's OBJ's ring. You know what I'm saying? Like that's OBJ's ring. I'm convinced it would be, because we've seen what Dak is. Dak's not Patty. He's not, you know what I'm saying? OBJ goes there and they win a championship or even get to a Super Bowl, and he's the hero in that story. You know what I'm saying? He could be the hero of a story in Dallas, or he could be a member in Patty's story in Kansas City. And so now that he already has a ring, I'm gonna go write my own story. You know what I'm saying?
He for sure would that would be a Jerry Jones signing for sure.
Oh man, Jerry been ready to sign him. The money ain't getting worked out. That's what it is. Jerry was ready to sign that boy 3 months ago.
Yeah, so that would definitely be that signing, man. But for everything that you said about the game, specifically Willie Jack, you know, with the Chiefs and the Chargers, man, I think you were spot on. The thing for me, man, it was just very competitive, man, very exciting to see. And you know, hey, Kareem rise to the top, bro. Kareem rise to the top. Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce showed up at the right time. And I think the one part of Travis Kelce's game that gets a little bit overlooked is his ability to run after the catch, man, and find those spots. He doesn't look like he's just the smoothest or most powerful runner, but he finds those spots, man. He gets where he needs to be, and he scores those touchdowns, man. He gets in that end zone, man. So kudos to them, man, and shout out to that Chiefs team, man. They playing some really, really good ball right now. And Ike, if Ike was in here, man, I don't know if y'all remember, he gave you all them hypotheticals about the starting tackle being out and the offensive weapons being off the field. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. This game had no McCole Hardman. It had no Juju Smith-Schuster. My guy went out this game, the receiver, Kadarius Toney, that they just brought over the shows to be explosive. What that mean for Pat? It ain't mean nothing. Pat still came in and took care of business, man, and handled business. Now, he still had his best guy, but still, you know, he came in and took care of business, and, you know, they still won the game. They did what they need to do. That's what Herbert needs to be able to do. It don't matter who in the game. We're going to make plays with whoever in the game, because that's what type of guy I am. So, with that being said, well, Jack, I think it's about time for us to pay some bills, bro.
Hey,
we gotta pay some bills, man. Let them know what's going on, man.
Man, and you know what, bro? You showed right, because I was just finna say it's about time for somebody to like this chat, man. Somebody like the post. Somebody gotta like my YouTube post, man. I ain't got enough likes on my post, dog. Somebody gotta like the post. Don't just drop a like in the chat. You gotta like the official post for me, big dog. So y'all help your boys out, man. Now, without further ado, today's episode of Let the Film Speak hosted by your dog Chop and your dog Willie Jack of Let the Field Speak and of Chop and Willie in the morning, Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock. It's brought to you by the Three Amigos, man. That's like, that shares, and subscribe, man. The Three Amigos, three the hard way, a 3-piece spicy. You can't beat it. It won't never go out of style. Three Amigos, man. Like, share, subscribe. Now, y'all know what I'm about to say, man, so say it with me. It's Three Amigos, but it's a 4-part process, big dog. First, you got to tell a friend. Then you got to tell your friend to tell a friend. Then you got to tell your friend's friend to tell his partner to come on through, man. Y'all stop playing. Come on too, man. Come over here and holler at your dogs, man. In the penthouse too, mind you. YouTube, man, we here. We in the penthouse. Chop that I told y'all, man. Come in, ring the bell, come up to the top floor. You know what I'm saying? Warm drinks, or excuse me, warm food and cold drinks. All of them that you need, big dog. Come in, sit down, chop it up with your folks, man. Get real comfortable, man. Also, let me give a huge shout out to my dog, man. Real good STL Sports, man. Skinny and working hard, a hard-working man, man. His dog Kevin been holding him down for a couple shows now, boy. And now dog Skinny back in the building, man. It's good to see you. Also brought to you by the good brothers at No Vultures, the podcast, man. Check my dogs out. Also brought to you by the good brothers of Prospect and Precision Painting, Atlanta, Georgia-based painting company. Now, I tell y'all, but don't let that stop you, boys. 2023. Southwest go everywhere, boy. They can get to you anywhere you need, man. Prospect and Precision Painting. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's TikTok, that's all social media platforms. Get in there, man. Tap in with your dogs, man. Painting, drywall, all the other accessory and ancillary work associated that you would expect. Holler at them, man. Them boys will get you right. And now, back to the regularly scheduled program, man. Talk to him, Chop.
For sure, man. Let's jump into the next one, man. This one, I would say a very unentertaining game, man. We have the New York Jets, man, go to New England to take on the Patriots, man. The Patriots win this game 10-3. Willie Jack, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet, man. But I'm gonna say it like this, man. I'm gonna say it like this. So obviously, this was a defensive game. If you watched it, or if you seen highlights, or if you know what happened in this game, obviously it was a defensive game. And as we talked about on Chop and Willie in the morning, man, I said this was a game that may come down to special teams play. And what happened? We get a punt return to win the game with about 11 seconds left on the clock in the fourth quarter. This was a 3-3 game into 11 seconds left in the fourth quarter, man, where the Patriots, they return the punt, man. They win it like that, and they end up taking care of this game, man. Mm-hmm. So this is the thing, Willie Jack. First off, I got a question for you. And then I'll jump into some of the other stuff in this particular game. With that little time left in the game, are you even giving the other team a chance to return a punt? Are you kicking that ball out of bounds? Like, talk to me, Willie Jack. Let me know something, man. What's going on?
Man, and here's the thing. So now it's a good. You make a good point. Do you even take the chance to kick it out of bounds? But here's the other thing as well. I want to say, before we look with hindsight, they wasn't kicking to Devin Hester. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't even kicking to Deshaun Jackson. Like, we've seen examples of guys like, and especially that Deshaun Jackson one, where Tom Coughlin comes out and calls a timeout to tell the punter, I don't give a damn where you kick it. Don't kick it to Deshaun Jackson, and don't kick it in bounds. Those was the last instructions after he called timeout. And what's he do? It's a line drive down the middle of the field to Deshaun Jackson, who muffs the punt, picks it up, and runs a touchdown. So it wasn't as egregious as that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's Marcus Jones. And not to say he's not a talented returner, but, man, he ain't got no stripes to where you know what I'm saying, it's not first thing on our mind to kick it out of bounds. Right. And then also the way the game had been going, I mean, it's just as unlikely as what I'm about to say is what happened. Also, think about on that punt, who's to say they don't strip the ball? It's not a fumble. He doesn't muff it. And so, you know, you punt the ball. It's a younger guy, which Marcus Jones still is as well. I mean, I don't know, man. Stranger things has happened. What if he muffs that punt and they recover it on the 6-yard line now? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad they didn't kick it out of bounds. I just think you can't count on a guy that's going to run a punt back with a 10 second.
Yeah. I guess I err on the side of not even giving him a chance, right? Because so I get your points too. Is like he's not a Deshaun Jackson, not a Devin Hester, not a Dante Hall, not any of those guys, right? I get that, I understand that. But with this particular situation, I don't know if you just want to give anybody a chance. Like, it doesn't matter, because it's like if anybody gets a chance, there's a chance that, you know, he has a play. It's almost like, all right, do I want to It actually is very similar to, all right, do I score this touchdown and give this team the ball back to give them an opportunity to go downfield? Or do I just go ahead and slide at the 4-yard line or 2-yard line and because I can just run the clock out? You know what I'm saying? So it's like if they kick that ball out of bounds, there's a very, very slim chance that the Patriots are able to get in field goal range with less than 20 seconds left on the clock. You know what I'm saying? Like that was more so my stance on it. But I mean, I
that
give
feels like hindsight, Chop. That feels like hindsight, dog.
But I don't know. But I don't know. I don't think so, though. I don't think so because it's like if I'm in this game, if I know, all right, it's 4th down, the clock is stopped, we got a punt. Do I want to punt it to give them an opportunity to return it? Now, granted, yes, he could fumble it, he could do that, but that's banking on them to make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? That's banking on them to make a mistake on their end for us to get a muff punt or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And he returned it, man. He returned it.
How long was that punt return touchdown? I was looking for the yard.
I have to go. I have to look.
Was it like
how long the return is? I got. Give me a second. Go ahead.
And what I was gonna say, but man, well, and that's the thing, man. Like I don't know the way that game played out. It was nothing but punts in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's big fact.
Yeah, it was nothing but punts in the game. And so I don't know if at that moment the way that game's going, and like I said, this isn't putting to a team that's shown any style of threat or they haven't differentiated themselves as an elite special teams return unit. So there's none of that there. And so I don't.
The punt, it was 84 yards. 84 yards. So they punted that ball down to the 16-yard line.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I say. So you're kicking the ball away inside the 20. I think there's and this is another thing that I'll tell you about that as well, because you pay a punt team to cover. You know what I'm saying? So if I've got to punt the ball out of bounds for a no-name guy like Marcus Jones when he shows up, then I might as well then leave 10 guys on the sideline when we punt the ball because we kicking it out of bounds then. You know what I'm saying? Like Marcus Jones ain't gonna run 10 dudes off the field for me. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he just ain't. Now he made the play, and that's kudos to you, bro. Get your money. But that's the same thing. Like Malcolm Butler's not gonna stop me for throwing a touchdown pass. Now he made the play, and we could talk about the play call. But what I'm saying is Marcus Jones or Malcolm Butler in that instance, Marcus Jones right now, those guys don't change the price of tea in China. They don't change my program. You know what I'm saying? Like we punting the ball. We done punted 7 times. We done punted 12 times this game. We're not gonna punt this one in case this is the 1 to 12 that he's gonna break for 85. Now it happened. That's what I'm saying. Like we can't judge it in hindsight. But the only thing I'm not even gonna talk about that game. You know, I do want to talk about this. I should have asked you to pull some footage because I said on Sunday's show, I was like, man, I talked myself out of the Patriots for one. Even when I was talking about the game, everything I said was a Patriots win, and I just had to just say, man, let me get these just arrived. I want these just do well, win one hard instead of my head, and got burned. But one of the things I said was, man, I'm worried this game could end up being a game that Bill Belichick and the Patriots win this game. I don't know if I said like 9-3 or 11-9. It was some low-scoring game, and I was like an ugly game that nobody even wants to watch because, like I said, both these defenses are talented, but both these offenses are terrible as well. So, like I said, it was just I'm not getting too caught up on that, but yeah, the biggest thing for me, man, is I'm not mad about punting that. If anything, like I said, we need to talk about what went wrong on the return itself, but I ain't gonna hold that against him. Oh, the bigger thing out of that, man, Zach Wilson lost his job, man. He's not starting this week at least, so they're making a change for this Sunday, going somewhere else. And so now I don't know how I feel about that, but it is what it is. Well, the only reason I say why is because now he hasn't played great. He hasn't played great. He was 9 for 22, 77 yards, no touchdowns in this game. Also didn't score a touchdown in the first game they played the Patriots as well, another loss. But I don't know if Joe Flacco's the answer. And so I guess they're 6-3.
Joe Flacco. It's dude White, Pat White.
They're gonna start Matt White. Mike White is gonna start.
Oh, is it Pat? I thought it was Pat White. I don't know one of them.
No, not Pat White. Pat White was from West Virginia back with Tavon Austin.
Yeah, I know who you talking about.
Yeah, but Mike White, I think is this kid's name from Wisconsin, if I remember. Anyway, it's him instead of Flacco. Because if it's not Flacco, then they bullshit. Then they tripping. If it's not Flacco, then they tripping. We're not gonna play Mike White over Zach White or over Zach Wilson.
No, it's not Flacco. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so if it's not
Mike
Flacco,
White, it is Mike White.
Okay, yeah, they tripping. Robert Salah, bro, now you tripping. If you told me you was gonna turn it over to Flacco because you can use the whole angle of he's a veteran, he's been here before, he's whatever. Okay, don't tell me that we're gonna play Mike White. Like, all right, yeah. Now
I want to know why though. Why you feel that way though, Willie Jack? Because this is the problem I have with the league is because of guys' stature or how they come out or their scouting report and all that type of stuff. They get such a longer leash than some of these other guys who have shown more than some of these other guys.
Now you gotta stop. Now you gotta stop because this is what you do. Mike White's shown more on what level? Not high school, not college, and not in the league. He ain't showing more.
You see what I'm talking about? But you see what I'm talking about? You said not high school, not in college. But you remember last year, Zach Wilson didn't play all year. Mike White had a couple games where he threw like 5 touchdowns in one game, bro. Like,
and you know what? I'll tell you what the league thought of those 5 touchdowns in that one game, Chop. He didn't get drafted before the 3rd round. I don't think he got drafted before the 5th round. So we can't say he
threw it in the league. He threw those touchdowns. He was with the Jets last year. He threw those 5 touchdowns.
Oh no! I thought you was talking about when I was talking about.
No. He threw those touchdowns in a game. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. I understand. Yeah, you want to go with your 1st round pick. You know what I'm saying? Your guy that you feel like is going to be your future. So that makes sense. But like I'm just saying, I'm speaking from what I've seen. I've seen multiple instances on multiple teams where I see a guy who with a bigger name get more chances or a longer leash than a guy who's shown equal or even more that he can do more than the guy that they had started. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, and I guess I get where you're going with that, but this example ain't that. Mike White is not that. Like Mike White's not Jacoby Brissett waiting behind Zach Wilson. Okay, well we've seen Mike White don't have them type of stripes, and now I gotta see what he's done in the league, man. It's got you feeling so strong for him. But Mike White's not that guy for this argument.
No, hear me out, because I'm not feeling strong for him. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is I'm not gonna just cancel them out because I don't know have a background on them. You know what I'm saying? The Jets are in their room, they know what's going on. So I'm not gonna just cancel them out. All I know is what they saw from Zach Wilson wasn't enough, wasn't anything. So I'm not just gonna say just because, you know what I'm saying, just because his name is not there or just because it's not Joe Flacco that he shouldn't be the guy next in line to be the starter of that team. No, I'm not just going to assume that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with them, and I just don't like when people just automatically assume, nah, if it ain't him, he don't need to be starting when Zach Wilson ain't did shit. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. I'm sorry, y'all.
No,
Zach Wilson ain't did nothing.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, man, yeah, we just gonna eternally agree to disagree there, because I'm not saying that I don't dig what you're saying. If the guy behind you has some juice, I'm saying Mike White ain't got that juice. Now, if that's Tyler Heineke, who's not great, and you know what I'm saying, he you know what I'm saying, he's been a part of teams that have found some success here and there. You know what I'm saying? But it's not even Tyler. Mike White don't even have the cachet of Tyler Heineke. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying, like, we can't.
And that's another example. Tyler Heineke. That was another example that I'm talking about. Tyler Heineke, he wasn't a big name or anything coming into the league. You know what I'm saying? He was just a guy who had to start, a playoff game against the Bucks, in 1 year. And it was like, okay, he's shown a little something. And then it's like, then he starts a full year and shows to me the exact same thing, if not more, that Carson Wentz showed when Carson Wentz was over the Colts. But then they bring Carson Wentz over, like, no, Carson Wentz, you starting over this guy, and then boom, you see what happens. Now Carson Wentz goes out, Taylor Heineke goes in and instantly starts winning more games. And it's like, why? For me, in my opinion, why do I give Carson Wentz the longer leash than Taylor Heineke when I've already seen what Taylor Heineke can do? And Taylor Heineke looks better than Carson Wentz. We are a better team with Taylor Heineke in. That's my point. It's like we bring these big name guys over, expecting them, and we've already seen that they trash. Like these guys.
We gotta slow down, because first we can't say that we've seen that they trash, because we've also seen that Carson Wentz has also been an MVP before he got injured. So we can't just say we've seen that they was trash. And then also in hindsight, how bad was the Colts run with Wentz? Because for 10 games this season, it looked like they needed them, or it looked like they probably didn't have to move him. And now I know the film is better though, because the stats are going to tell us he was successful. 27 touchdowns, 12 picks, if I remember. But I know it wasn't as clean or as good as that, because there was points they left on the field and stuff they missed. But we're getting away from what I want to. The point I want to make is you don't. I'm not saying that you can't find a 7th round guy that can come in and be Tom Brady or come in and be Antonio Brown. Well, those are 6th round guys, but just following with the example, because somebody out there could be like, man, Tom Brady and Antonio Brown win the 6th round. That's him. But that's not the point. What I'm saying is the reason Carson Wentz as the number 2 overall pick and the 1st round pick, and I don't even want to use Wentz because I'm not a big fan of bringing in these guys from down Arkansas State. You know what I'm saying? And a la Trey Lance, you know what I'm saying? And some of these guys, I'm not even saying him, but just for the sake of this example. But the reason they do get that cachet, they do get that leeway, is because every game of football they played before this moment has earned them a certain amount of respect. You're not going to tell me that a guy comes into the locker room and he can get away with, or he can do and move and operate the same way that an established anybody could be. And I didn't want to use a quarterback example because it's going to be obvious. I don't want to say Jeff Sorgi can move around like Peyton Manning can, because we haven't seen exactly what Jeff Sorgi had. That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is when there's 2 guys and neither is proven, then yes, we have to grade them and treat them accordingly to who they are and what they were when they got here. Because that you got here based on your reputation. So like when I go show up at your job, I don't get to make what you make because, well, there's a chance I could do just what you're doing. Like, no, man. Like Chop was brought in because he had a track record, a history, a resume of things that we like to find attractive for him in the position. Now, if you get in the position and you start to stumbling and tripping, okay, somebody else. Okay, so now I'm not saying that somebody else wants to
point.
But this is where I'm going with this though, right? And so it's not enough to say that your job is eternal and that you can't be replaced or that you can't be chastised or whatever. But what I'm saying is you don't necessarily, I'm not ready to, and I don't want to say throw away Zach Wilson because I don't want to go too hard and say that they're done with him either. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is Mike White's not the guy that makes me move off the Zach Wilson hill. And regardless of if he had a 5 touchdown game or not, I don't know if he did or not. You know what I'm saying? But if he did, and it was that one, but it doesn't matter because every day of his career, he's never shown the talent, potential, or on-field acumen as Zach Wilson has. Because one of those guys was the number 2 overall pick in the league in the draft, and the other guy went in the 7th round if he got drafted. So that's what I'm saying. Like Zach Wilson's been a better player every game they played, game for game. If you line those guys up, Zach Wilson has been better than him to this point in the season. And now that they're in the season, I'm not saying that Zach Wilson, maybe they don't want to make a move, but I'm saying I don't see how Mike White is that move. And it can't be enough to just be like, well, man, maybe he might be good too. Because Zach Wilson is bad, so maybe Mike White might be good. Or if Mike White's bad, it ain't no difference because Zach Wilson was already bad too. So we just trading bad for bad so it don't hurt. Well, no, because Zach Wilson needs experience. He's a year 2 guy and he's been injured for half this year as well.
So I tell you what this move was. I think this move was not because of I honestly don't think it was because of 100% because of Zach Wilson's performance. I think it was because of his maturity. That's what I think it was. Because and I think a big part of it was his response at the end of the game. You know, when they asked him, like, do you think your offense or you think you guys let the defense down? You know,
he said no. Yeah. I can tell you right now, if that's why Robert Saleh made the change, then he's a bad coach. Because if you petty enough to make a roster change and risk.
But listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So listen. Let me finish making my point on that though. So I feel like if you're making that type of response, which is an immature response, then that's not the only area that he's immature in. I think he's just an immature quarterback overall. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more than just because it's not just that one incident. I think he is immature in a lot of different ways when it comes to the NFL, and they feel like, you know what? He's not ready yet. He's just not ready maturity-wise to be the quarterback, to be an actual leader of this particular ball club. So, yeah, let's give him a little bit more time. I'm not ready to turn it over on Zach Wilson either. You know what I'm saying? I don't think his career is totally over. You know what I'm saying? I think there's still an opportunity out there for him. But I think there is a part of being an NFL quarterback is one, being held accountable. It's also having a certain maturity level as far as your play on the field. Like, that stuff is not. That's not a one-off. It's not a.
I mean,
I
did what you're saying, but man, we got to. I don't want us to overplay his immaturity because, like, he hasn't been like a media circus, and he hasn't been Baker Mayfield or Cam Newton. Young guys who came in, and there was definitely much more media hubbub and comments and made, and their personas.
Just because he's not making those comments doesn't mean he's not.
Hold on, let me finish though, because what I'm saying is he has to make a comment for it to be news. So he doesn't have those instances of Baker Mayfield and what Cam Newton, what both those guys were accused of, is like that media immaturity, pouting and sulking and et cetera. So could he have gave a more tactful answer? Yes. But I'm not going to go as far as to say that the answer that he gave was like over the line. Do you feel like
definitely over the line?
I don't think it was over the line because he doesn't owe it. He doesn't. This is the thing about it, and this is what I'll say. He doesn't owe it to that reporter to just say like, yeah, man, this one's on me. I lost the game. Now that's a tactic he could have.
It don't have to be on him. It could be on the offense. He
asked, do you feel like you let down the defense? It was directly pointed at him. Are you the single reason this team lost? That's the question he got asked. He said, no, I'm not the single reason this team lost.
He said the offense had 2 yards in the second half. They had 2 yards in the second half. Yeah. Do you think the offense? That's why he phrased it that way. That's what he was talking about, the offense. But either way, the offense.
Okay, I'll go back and hear the quote. But either way, it doesn't matter. That doesn't cost a professional athlete his starting job. Period. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. Ray Lewis for
That's why I said I think it's more than that. I don't think it's just that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like there's no. I guess what I'm saying is I don't want us to speculate on or hypothesize on something that has no bearing. There's nothing that's happened that tells us that he's been a problem behind the scenes. Like if there was grumblings and whisperings,
it's not a problem, Willie Jack. You misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a problem, but immaturity doesn't mean that you're a problem. You don't have to have outbursts like Baker Mayfield or Cam Newton to be considered immature. Immature doesn't always mean that you're like just a problem and you're acting out. That's not always immature. Immature can be you just not ready for that moment. You know what I'm saying? You're not ready to be a starter.
Well, see, you should have said that. You should have said it was play. No. You didn't say it was play based. You said it's immature. No, you made it about that answer in the thing and how that's an example of his immaturity. Right. That's what you made it about. It was. It is an example. No, if they come out and say, "Hey, this is strictly about play," woo, then okay, maybe. But you can't tell me it's about his play and then replace him with Mike White though, because then that invalidates the argument. Because Mike White doesn't have a history of play that tells me he should supplant Zach Wilson. Now, if you told me it was about play and we're going to turn it over to Joe, and not to say that Joe's great or Joe's this or that, but at least then that's a valid point. It lines up. You know what I mean? But don't tell me it's about play. But then okay, but Mike White's gonna come in. Well, who the hell is Mike White? You know what I'm saying? That's where I'll get with it because Mike White doesn't have a history of play that tells me that I should expect him to do anything better than what Zach Wilson's doing. And now, maybe to your point with the 10 snaps he gets a practice, he's wowing everybody with these 10 throws, and now it's his job. Maybe we don't see them practices, but you can't tell me it's about play, but then we replace him with Mike White. That's
my point, Willie Jack, man. Like I just think we give these just because they got these big names, man. We give them two. They at least.
Hey, there we go. Do you think you let the defense down? That's what I said.
Right. He actually no. He actually he did say that.
That's what I heard. That's what I thought he said.
No, he did say that, but it was after listen. But it was after he said. You guys, like you scored. I mean, you
guys only gained 2 yards, and then
it was like, do you like you as the offense?
Because now you want him to, because now you asking him to speak for this man. That's a grown man to ask him a question. The grown man asked me because he said you as an offense in the first part. So don't tell me he can't say you as an offense on the second part. He's a grown ass man and he's a professional. Don't ask me the offense did this. So did you directly let us down? I don't know him. I don't owe him no stripes. I don't owe him no pulls. So I'm not going to give him the credit of, he must, when he says singles me out, he must mean the overarching offense. Nah, he asked me a question. I'm going to answer his question. If he wanted to rephrase it, he could have did so. But if you ask me, one guy was the one guy that lost 53 men on this team the game? Hell no. We don't say that about a quarterback who throws an interception on the goal line because there's other opportunities throughout this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not mad. That's why I wasn't mad at his answer.
All right, I got you, Willie. Well, I'll say this, man. I'll end it with this, man. I'll say this so we can move on, man. I know we've been on this. I said
we had time today. We good. I think so, yeah.
But I'll just say this. I'll end it like this, Willie Jack. I personally feel like the quarterbacks with bigger names coming out of college, they get too long of a leash, man.
They earned it though. They earned it though. That's the only point I'm saying is they earned it. You know what I'm saying? Like
but that's what I'm saying. They didn't earn it in the NFL. They didn't earn it in the NFL.
Chop, man, this is why you got a coach and I got to be the GM because see you can't see the big picture. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and if I'm the coach, I'm gonna put in. You're right. I'm gonna put in who needs to be put in.
Yeah,
if a guy ain't performing, he can pull.
Hey, it sounds good until I find somebody who plays who I want to play.
No,
that's how it goes in some places.
Until you actually start winning some games, because Chop no coach. When you start winning them games, because I didn't pull Carson Wentz.
I tell you that right now.
Listen. When I pull Carson Wentz for Tyler Heineke, you start winning some games. I just need you to say, "Hey, boy, you know what you're talking about."
There you go. Because now we're gonna say Tyler Heineke's lit it up. Man, you've seen those games and those throws. He's thrown interceptions that Terry McLaurin has came down with for 40-yard completions to get them in field goal range.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna come sit in your office. I'm gonna sit in your office. If you the GM, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Will, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. You want Pat Carson Wentz back in this game? You go coach. I'm out, bro."
No. I'm not dying on the hill of Carson Wentz. I'm not saying that. But my point was Mike White don't even have the cachet of Tyler Heinicke. That's what I'm saying.
But Tyler Heinicke didn't either. Tyler Heinicke didn't either before he started the playoff game. Nobody even knew who he was.
Hold on.
He didn't either.
Because also, let's remember, Tyler Heinicke came in and replaced Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was only the guy because of an injury as well. So it still wasn't just like he just showed up and was balling and got a job. No, he's came in 2 times because either somebody got hurt or the team was underperforming. And then when he comes in, he's bullshit. Tyler Heinicke's not playing. Tyler Heinicke's not going to start on it. Tyler Heinicke may not be the backup on the rest of the 30 teams in this league. Tyler Heinicke has to go through. Tyler Heinicke is in a fight with the number 2 on 20 teams in this league. That's what I'm saying. So he's still not that guy. But here's the thing about that, though. This is the difference between Tyler Heinicke and Mike White. White is fighting for a 3 spot on all those teams that Tyler Heinicke is fighting for a 2. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I do get what you're saying because sometimes it can go too far. But if the option is a no-name guy, a guy that couldn't even get himself more look or recognition because he didn't even do enough before he got here, then like, nah, bro. Like, if you're going to break, because you make these changes, because obviously the Jets they're accidentally 6-3, or now they're 6-4 on accident. They ain't see it coming. They accidentally 6-4. They accidentally realized, man, we got a real shot. And so, okay, we're not going to give Wilson the time to grow and learn, etc., because we're going to try to make a real push and see if we can really make a run at the playoffs, the wild card. Well, okay, I dig all of that, but Mike White's not the move to make if that's the case. That's all I'm saying.
My dog, Willie Jack.
Come on, man. Mike White. Boy, I can't wait to see, man. I can't wait to see Sunday. You know, I ain't going to say that, man. I ain't going to wish nobody to lose.
But it don't matter what he do. It's not going to be worse than Zach Wilson.
That's not the point, though, Chop, because Mike White's not the future of that team. If he's going to be, that
never was the point that I was making anyway. So that's not what the point that I made.
Trading bad for bad. That's why I want you to make it make sense, because trading bad for bad is not the program. If you don't expect Mike White to be better, no, because if you just say if it's bad, then oh well, because it was already bad. But that's not why you make it. No, that's not.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, well, for one, the one thing I did say was we don't know what they seeing in practice. We don't know that, Willie Jack. We don't know what's going on. Huh?
I said I know it ain't been enough because Joe Flacco started 3 games this year instead of Mike White, so it could have been enough.
If you say so, because you at the practice.
Did Joe Flacco start 3 games this year when Wilson was on the
IR? You say so, bro, that's cool.
No, I'm asking because I want to know if he's been lighting practice up. Then when Zach Wilson got hurt for 3 games this year, how come he didn't play 3? While we waiting week 11, there was an opportunity for him to play week 2 through 4, 2 through 5. Mm-hmm. We seen Joe Flacco. and we seen them win. Joe Flacco won those games the same way that Tyler Heineke's won some of his. The other team did a lot wrong, and you made the one right play that you need to make in a game that you probably made 4 mistakes, but you won. The Ravens and the Browns, you know what I'm saying? So like you stole 2, but I mean, all right, yeah, my fault, man. Yeah, let's go keep moving. We go to the next one. Mike White, man.
See what I'm saying? Now, I want y'all to pay attention first before we move on. Now Willie Jack gonna try to tie me into Mike White and try to.
That's your boy. That's your boy.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, see, man.
Hey, that's your boy.
That's what I be talking about. That's what I be talking about. I knew Willie Jack was gonna do that, man. On to the next game, man. We're gonna talk about my boys, man. We got the LA Rams go to New Orleans to take on the Saints, man. Saints win this game 27-20. They over the LA Rams, man. And yeah, man, the Rams, they just can't get right, man. They just can't get right. Can't do nothing right. Now, actually, let me take that back. Because, like as we said before, the defense has been playing a little bit solid. But Matthew Stafford did come out in this game, man. He started off, a little hot, and I thought, I was like, maybe Matthew Stafford was like, hold on, man, I still can do this, man. I've been on teams where I didn't have weapons before, you know what I'm saying? And I did win some games over in Detroit. I've been over there for a few years, man. So I started to see that. I was like, oh yeah, my bad. Let me put a little bit of respect on Matthew Stafford's name, man. He ain't just terrible out here. He ain't just awful. You know what I'm saying? But New Orleans still end up coming away with the W in this game. Matthew Stafford actually went out. They already ruled him out for week 12, man. So he got hurt again in this particular game.
No, he's on IR now.
Yeah. So he got hurt again in this particular game, and that's it for the Rams. I already pulled them out the oven, but that's for sure it. I think they just gonna go ahead and check in, and I think this would be a good opportunity going forward for them to start seeing what else they got, man. Looking at some of the other talent. I don't know if you remember, Willie Jack, in the preseason, man, we talked about McCatchen.
Hey, man, McCatchen.
Maybe this is an opportunity for him to come in and get some looks, man. We saw a little bit of Tutu Atwell, man, stretching the field out, using some of his speed. They did waive Darrell Henderson. So what did they give Kyron Williams some touches, man? Is it back to Cam Akers? What is that going to look like? I want to see what's going on with the Rams, man. See some of the young talent that we have. That way we can start being prepared for next year, because this season is it for us, man. It's it. It's a wrap. So it is what it is. On the other side, man, New Orleans. Now, I did call out Kamara as being the performer of the week. Of course, he did not have that type of game.
I didn't see that.
It was actually the rookie, man, Olave. Olave had a pretty solid game, went over 100 yards in this game and a touchdown. And New Orleans came away with the W, man. So kudos to New Orleans. Keep it short and sweet. Willie Jack, what was your take on this one, man?
First off, Tom, look who just fell in the building. Tom, where's you at when it was time for me to talk about Dallas, Minnesota?
He knew what was going on. He was here the whole time. He just ain't never say nothing. The
nerve of this dude, man. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you. I'm glad you made it, big dog. Yeah, man. You know how it go in here, man. Hey, you ain't never too late, man. And so, but now I think, like you said, man, that Rams season's done, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think now Chop, man. I know this is a hard time, man. I'm probably approaching that myself. You know what I'm saying? Starting to look more into the draft. So I feel you, man. But
but you know what? I can't even look into the draft.
Yeah, you know what? At least I got the draft to look for.
Because we done gave them picks away. Detroit over there sitting like, oh yeah, Rams keep losing.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, boy. It's gonna, because after
Detroit mess around have the number 1 overall pick, man. If the Rams keep losing, bro.
Bruh, after AD retired this season, I don't know how much money's left on Jalen's contract. But man, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's looking very close to, like, man, the Rams might have a rough next 2-3 years, boy. Like I said, they ain't got no picks to refill that talent, boy. So I don't know what's going on there. But no, the big other thing on this, man, Andy Dalton got the start, 21 for 25, 263 touchdowns, no picks. Taysom Hill 9 for 50 on the ground. Olave had a big day in the air. Tom, you see this? Top, look, yeah, man. All right, yeah, that's all right, Tom.
He the one told you to pick him.
I know. See, I try to give the boy a chance, and look what he do to me, man. But no, the thing I want to talk about in this one, man. So Jameis Winston, I guess, has finally broke his silence. I seen an interview or a clip of an interview. And he's salty about losing his starting job. so he's salty about losing his starting job, and yeah. So I think in the quote he gave in the interview was, he lost his job due to injury, and there is like a room, a team rule or something like that where you don't lose your job to injury. And honestly, that's not something he just made up. I've heard that before. It has been kind of an unwritten rule where you don't lose your job to injury. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly why. Well, there's been specific circumstance where maybe that has been the case. Tom Brady and old boy
Dak Prescott.
Drew Bledsoe. No, Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe. Dak Prescott and Tony Romo. No, wait,
Kurt
but
Warner,
Romo came
Kurt
back.
Warner, Tom Green. I mean, Kurt Warner and Green, Trent Green.
And Trent Green, but see, Trent Green was lost for the season though. I'm talking about you know what I mean? I'm talking about instances where the other guy's healthy enough to play and he just doesn't play. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
so I think so Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe, and then I think Dak and Romo are the two that just came to mind. But honestly, like I've heard that before. That is kind of a thing. And honestly, now in this game, when Dalton goes for 260, 3 touchdowns, no picks, maybe this wasn't the game that you should have broke silence. You had a perfect opportunity to say that, Jameis, after the Cardinals game, the Cardinals game, the one where Andy Dalton gave 21 points to the other team. Like that maybe was the time to maybe drop this quotable. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, so I understand. I can see his frustration when you see a guy who came in and replaced you, and you don't see what he's doing on the field necessarily to keep you where you're at. But now this week, like I said, is different as opposed to when I was talking. But either way, man, New Orleans gets this dub. I tell you what, man. I still can't. I don't feel great about the Saints. Tom Brady, I think, is gonna win that division by default, but I don't feel great about that either. It's just, man, just year over year, man, seeing how these things go. But yeah, that's all I got on that game.
All right. Well, let's keep it moving then. Let's get up off of that real fast. Detroit going to New York to take on the Giants, man. Detroit ends up winning this game 31-18. Willie Jack, what's your take on this one, bro? I know you finna talk about this one.
Also, you didn't want to talk about your boy.
I'm gonna talk about it, but you on the list first. You on the docket first. You on the docket, my dog.
When honestly, boy, and this is honestly, I didn't expect. I told you Detroit's gonna score 30 points. I did say that, but I didn't expect it to be the way they did. I thought it'd be a bigger day in the passing game, honestly, than I did the rushing game. But Jamal Williams, 17 for 64 with 3 touchdowns. And then Swift, I thought the Swift was going to be more involved, but only 5 carries, 20 yards, and he did run a touchdown as well. Goff, modest day, 17 for 26, 165 yards, no interceptions, no touchdowns. But the bigger thing for me, and what I was talking about on Sunday is, like, I know Detroit can score points, and I'm not confident in New York doing that. And that's honestly, man, they just couldn't keep up. So, what's that? Daniel Jones, man, Danny Dimes, 27 for 44, 340. 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Rough day for Saquon, man. I'm sure you'll get into it. 15 for 22 yards, and then another 7 for 50 on the ground for Daniel Jones. But yeah, honestly, man, like I said, I didn't feel worried or concerned about that pick at all, man. Because like I said, one team's good for 30. Now you may score 30 with them, but they going to 30, and that was the difference in the game because I didn't have faith in New York getting to 30, and they didn't. 31-18. So that was there it is.
And this is a game too, Willie Jack, man. I got to get this one all the way to 100% to the coaching staff, man. The coaching staff, Dan Campbell and those guys, man, they put together an awesome game plan. You know what I'm saying? An awesome game plan. We already know what they are and what they do, on a day-to-day basis and a week-to-week basis. Detroit is the second worst run defense in the league. You know what I'm saying? So for them to come in this game and really put a lot of focus on this run game, man, and hold Saquon Barkley for 15 carries for 22 yards, man, that speaks a lot to, their game plan and what they decided to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know it wasn't – I'm not going to discredit the players like that, but they don't have like this ultimate run-stopping defense that we talk about, week in and week out. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about them like we used to talk about Tampa Bay and with Vita Vea and Dominican Sue and, all those guys they had on their defensive line and their front seven. You know what I'm saying? So we're not talking about them the way we're talking about that particular team, but they were able to do what that old Tampa Bay team did, man. So, see, now he tripping. Now the boy tripping.
Now, I was just going to say, man, I can't believe that the second best back in the NFC East had 22 yards rushing against the second worst rush defense in the league. I just wanted you to explain that to me.
Yeah. Jack, you tripping, bro. I ain't finna entertain you, bro. We already been going back and forth long enough. I ain't finna do this with you, Willie Jack.
Hey,
I ain't finna do this with you,
hey,
bro.
man, come on. Hey, y'all. Hey, look, man. You know, hey, Tony look like
Do
real
this with
deal,
you,
man.
man. But all in all, great performance for this Detroit Lions team, man. They had it going offensively. They were moving the ball up and down the field, and then on defense, man, they did what they were supposed to do. They stopped the best player on a New York Giants team on their offense, and tried to force Daniel Jones to make them win this game, man. And they couldn't do it. They couldn't come away with the W, so they win this one, man. Like I said, final score of 31-18. So of course, I expect New York Giants to go back to the drawing board, but they got another tough one tomorrow, man. We're gonna get into it in a little bit. On to the next one, Willie Jack. Let's go to Baltimore. When we got Carolina, they go to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, man. 13-3. And I wish Black was in here, man, on this.
I was just gonna say the same thing, Black. Where you at, boy? You was talking, you've been spicy all day. You just got out of Facebook jail. He had tagged me in 3 or 4 posts. I told him he better come talk to me in the office. And where you at, Black?
See, normally when people tag people in posts, they making a point that's valid. You know what I'm saying? But this boy was tripping, man.
I thought he wanted some smoke. Yeah, come to the office, get some smoke, big dog. Come on,
he didn't want no smoke, man. He didn't want no smoke. But all in all, man, Willie Jack, you were actually right about this game. I thought this game was going to be a little bit widespread, in terms of Baltimore and this Carolina game. I thought Baltimore was going to come into this game and be able to, do what they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? And come away with this W in this game, especially with the dynamic of this offense. But they weren't able to do that, man. This Carolina defense held Baltimore, to 13 points, which is kudos to them, man, for being able to do that, especially if you got the offense that's not able to put up points like that. So you got an offense that's not on the field a lot, which means your defense is on the field a lot. And that defense, man, they did what they were supposed to do against Baltimore and held them down. Now, Baltimore were the better team in this matchup, so they were able to put together, 13 points in this game, which ended up being enough. And yeah, I'm kudos to them, man. Now, I will say another QB change in this game. We're not in this game, but going forward, Sam Darnold is going to be the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers moving forward.
Or next week. I think they rotate weekly
for next week. So maybe they go with the high hand. I don't know what they go with, man. But so Sam Darnold will be the quarterback going into this next week, man. So we'll see what they continue to look like. But hey, man, Baltimore continues to win. They win in an ugly fashion, but hey, it's a win, so they ain't mad at it.
No, of course, and that's just like you said, man. Defensive game, and that's what I'm saying, man. Because Carolina's defense is solid. Now, also, I don't want us to. Baltimore's not an offensive juggernaut either.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But they can light you up. You know what I'm saying? So still kudos to Carolina's defense. This game was 3-3 in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? So Carolina was still right there. Rough day for Baker, 21 for 33, 196 yards, no touchdowns, but did throw 2 interceptions. Excuse me. And even still, Lamar wasn't other unworldly himself. 24 for 33, 200 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Just those stat lines right there are almost identical. You know what I'm saying? So as bad as we're going to say Baker played 21 for 33, okay, well, Lamar was 24 for 33, 209 yards to 196 yards, 1 interception to 2 interceptions. You know what I'm saying? So neither guy played spectacular in this game, even rushing the ball, 11 for 31. Now, Lamar did have the deciding, or I guess the only touchdown in the game, running touchdown there. But yeah, all said, man, I wanted to shout out to Marcus Robinson, 9 for 128. So he had a very big day there. But yeah, just like Chop was saying, man, going forward, they're going to rotate with Sam Darnold. And I hate that it comes back up. But this is what makes more sense than Zach White and Mike White. You know what I'm saying? You've got Baker, you've got Sam Darnold. Now, both these guys were brought in at the same level. But yeah, one of these guys ain't playing well, hadn't played well. Okay, let's try the other one. Let's rotate and swap them out. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to let that alone. But not.
We've been going another 30 minutes.
I thought about just leave it alone, man.
We've been going another 30 minutes, bro.
Yeah, just leave it alone. But yeah, so we'll see what Darnold does, man. And like I said, find whatever hands hot. You know what I'm saying? PJ Walker was there for a couple wins, but he didn't play great. But you know what I'm saying? They did get a couple wins. Now he's injured, and so like I said, especially with Steve Wilkes being an interim coach, he don't owe nobody on that team nothing. You know what I'm saying? Which guy's gonna get me a dub so I can interview again and see if I can get another real shot somewhere. So.
For sure. All right, Willie Jack, man. On to the next one, man. On to this. We got Washington going to Houston to take on the Texas, man. Washington wins this game 23-10. What's your take on this one?
Man, it's another one I talked myself into some foolishness. Talked myself into thinking that Houston was going and not even like upset because it's Washington. You know what I'm saying? You got to be about something to be upset. You know what I'm saying? But I still thought that this was a game. It's the truth, bro. That's what I be saying. Like, man, ain't no upset if one bad team beats another bad team. There ain't no upset. You know what I'm saying? Washington, I'm not gonna say I should say they're a bad team. They're not a good team. I'm not gonna call them a good team either. They're just it's a team.
An okay team.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're just a team. And so it wouldn't have been necessarily an upset. But anywho, I talked myself into thinking this is one of those ones where Houston shows up and steals one. And I was sorely mistaken. 23-10. They opened the game with a pick six by your boy Davis Mills. 19 for 33, 169. That pick six and another interception. Dameon Pierce, man, that's the guy who I was told myself was going to have a big day.
That fire is starting to go out, man. That fire is starting to go out.
Well, and you know what? And this is the thing about I don't think he's the problem at all, but it's one of those things as well where if there's no threat of anything but you in this game, okay, well we can handle that. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's some of that as well. This is a kid, this is a young man. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how aggressive you might be. I don't want to be disrespectful. It's a young dude, man, who running back, and unless you're Adrian Peterson with Christian Ponder as your running back and you run for 2,000 yards, because that feat right there is still special. Unless you're that, like you do need something to take some of the attention off of you. You can't have guys you can't have 8 guys within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage when you snap the ball. You know what I'm saying? And so that's some of the attention he started getting when the offense, when the pass game is so inept, man, he can't balance it out. But yeah, other than that, man, Washington gets a win. Heineke 15 for 27, 191, no touchdowns, no picks. And yeah, they get a dub against a Houston team that's like I said, still in the market for one of the top quarterbacks, man, when they get the number 1 pick.
For sure. And speaking of David Mills, I know you talked about that pick earlier, man. He's another starter that's going to be out for the Texans, man. They planning on starting quarterback Kyle Allen moving forward, man, to see if they can come up with some type of spark for this particular team, man. But just like you said, you hit all the points, man. Washington was just, coming in as the better team. They came in as the better team. They took care of business, did what they supposed to do. Now, quietly, like we said before, I said quietly 5-5. Now they 6-5, man. A 6-5 team in the NFC. Yeah. They are really in their position to possibly come away with a wild card spot, man. So we'll see how the rest of their season goes. If they can continue to come away and continue to play with fire, man. But we'll see.
Chop.
Yeah, they go. I got you, brother. I got you.
I was gonna be like, hold on now, wait a minute. Yeah, look at Tom, man. Thank God they lost.
Yeah, that boy trying to get that CJ Stroud, man.
Or Bryce Young. He said, why did they leave PJ Walker? PJ Walker got injured. Yeah, he got injured.
So I'm looking, and Willie Jack, I'm looking right now. I'm looking at the NFC, and right now they hold that third. Like if we had to look at it, they hold that third wild card spot, man. And that would honestly, it would be all. That would mean every team in the NFC East makes the playoffs.
Now every team can only have 3. And that's
exactly. But right now, I'm saying if the season ended today, they got that spot.
No, well, but all 4 teams aren't allowed. Like it's against the rules, so one of them would have to miss. So like one of those in the
why is it against the rules? I don't understand.
No, that's established, bro. Everyone, that's why the Patriots that year missed the playoffs, even though they went 11-5 with Matt Castle. Because I think the Jets won that division that year, and the Dolphins also had a tied same record as them. It was something screwy, but all 4 teams can't make the playoffs. So yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like because we know we've got Philly, we know we've got Dallas. Now I would say that Washington has a better chance of making the playoffs than the Giants. Honestly, I would say that. No, or just as good a chance. I don't feel great about Washington either.
That's weird.
Neither one of those teams are making the playoffs though, Chop. So get that out your head. There's only 2 teams from the East coming into the playoffs, man.
3 teams can make the playoffs, bro.
No, 3 teams can, but 3 teams won't. 2 teams will make it there. Neither Washington or New York will make the playoffs, but there's going to be 2 teams from the West. I think Seattle still makes the playoffs, and I think the Niners will make the playoffs.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes, man. On to the next one, Willie Jack, man. We got an overtime game, man. We had Las Vegas go to Denver to take on the Broncos. Las Vegas, Las Vegas, man, they come away with the W 22-16 on the game-winning touchdown, man, by the best in the biz. Willie Jack, talk to me, bro. What happened in this one?
My fault, bro. I was replying to Tom in the chat.
You good, sir. You good, sir.
Yeah, my fault. And so Raiders do get the dub in overtime, man. Got the numbers for y'all. Carr 23 for 37, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Devontae had a big day, 7 for 141, 2 touchdowns. Jacobs was good on the ground, 24 for 109. And so right there, the 3-headed monster, the guys that you need to carry the team to victory, they all 3 show up today. That's probably happened maybe 3 times before this whole season for the Raiders. That offensive man has been through some trouble. In like I said, so it was good to see those guys all, I guess, produce. On the other side, man, with Danger Russ, 24 for 31 for 247. What's his first name? Murray's first name.
Kyler.
No. The running back for the Broncos, Latavius. Yeah, I was gonna say Latavius, Kyler. Murray. Now I can't even say his name. Murray, man, 17 for 49 and a touchdown. The Raiders get a much needed win, man, in division as well. But the thing about this one as well, man, Melvin Gordon finally got his walking papers, man, and so he's been walking around on death row. You know what I'm saying? His time has been short, man, and so he loses another fumble in this game, and they go ahead and cut ties, man. So the writing's been on the wall there. I don't know what happens to Melvin Gordon going forward, but yeah, man, his time in Denver definitely came to an end. But yeah, man, the Raiders by themselves, I guess one more, or maybe the heat around Josh McDaniels and David Carr's seat cools off for just a tad for just one more week, man, until next week. But that's all I got on this one.
Got you. And I'll keep this short and sweet too, man. These 2 teams towards the bottom of the league. Neither team was playing well, but Las Vegas ended up coming away with it, man. Go to overtime. Denver still can't do anything offensively. And as I said, man, this was going to be the game to either take Denver out of the oven or either show that, they may be able to go on a little run and make this a little interesting. And hey, sure enough, they come away on the losing side of that, man, especially with a great route, against one of the top corners who's been playing some of the best ball. He actually looked bad on this play. And Patrick Surtain, double move. He hits with a double move in overtime by Devontae Adams, man. Devontae Adams walks in for an easy overtime touchdown to seal a deal in this game. Coming off of an emotional press conference by your boy Derek Carr, man, crying and letting him out, man. Hey, his heart and soul is in this, man.
He's in touch with his feelings, man.
You're right, man. He's in touch with his ceiling, man. He's in touch with his feelings, man. So, hey, I couldn't even get it out.
I know. It didn't sound right saying it. Yeah.
It was so off. Don't worry about it. But Las Vegas, like you said, Willie Jack, the big 3 show up. And they come away with the W in this game, man. So well-needed win by this particular team, divisional matchup. And they get it done, man. They get it done. So shout out to this team, man.
Hey, Tom, man, look, find the year it happened to post it, man. Y'all gonna get it. Y'all ain't learned yet, man. Y'all can't question me about this stuff, man. I do this, man. Tom tried to tell me it's a year with all 4. No, bro, it doesn't happen. It's not allowed to happen.
I don't think it was a year with all 4 teams, because that never happened because this is only the second year that 7 teams was going to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
That too.
Beforehand, it was only 6 teams and 4 was the division leaders. You know what I'm saying? So now last year 3 did go from the NFC West though. 3
can go. 3s went before. 3 the AFC North used to always put 3 because Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati would all 3 make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So 3 is regular. Like you can have 3, but you can't have 4. It's like because 4 would mean that the second place in another division would be left out for the 4th team in one division. Like it's way too unbalanced. Like
I just feel like if they got a better record, man, they playing better, then so be it.
Don't matter. That's why New Orleans went to Seattle when they were 12-4 and had to travel on the road to play a Seattle team that was 7-9. And Beastquake happened in Seattle.
But they were division winners though.
Well, okay. Then back to my other example. That's why the Patriots didn't make the playoffs that year. That Matt Castle led the team to 11-5 record. They didn't make the playoffs. It can't happen, bro. Come on, man. Y'all should learn by now, man.
Nah,
when have
bro,
I ever
I
lied
don't
to
believe
you?
it, Willie.
Come
I don't
on,
believe
man.
it. I don't believe it.
Y'all gonna make me toot my own horn, man. Scary Terry, Tony Pollard.
No, but I'm saying, but I'm saying,
come on, man. Y'all know I do this.
What I'm saying, the Patriots didn't make the playoffs. It wasn't because they were the fourth team in the division. It was because there was another team that they beat them in the tiebreaker. There's tiebreakers set up to teams that have the same record. You know what I'm saying? So usually it's like.
What I'm saying is their record would have superseded. Their record was still. Well, we ain't gonna get too caught up because y'all wrong and I'm right. So I'm gonna let this
You're
go.
not right though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. I'm right though, man. Y'all know I'm right, man. Tom said,
you can't have three teams.
Somebody show me the footage. Somebody show me the footage, man. Somebody pull up.
There is no footage. It's only been 2 years that 7 teams can go. This is only the second year that 3 teams could have possibly went because there's 7
3 teams can win. 3 teams.
No, they couldn't. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, I'm saying this is the first year that 4 teams can go in a division.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
This is the first year that 4 teams because there's 7. There's 7. So there's 4 division winners, but then there's 3 extra spots. The 3 extra spots go to the best 3 records left. It don't matter what division they come from. And if the best 3 records are all in the NFC East, then that's who goes to the playoffs.
Man, somebody show me the paperwork, man.
I'm saying that's never happened before, Willie Jack. It's never
happened. I want to see it still would be. It's not going to be a situation where we get to the end of the year and the league finds out, oh man, all 4 of these NFC East teams can go. So it has to have been accounted for. It's going to be somewhere in the rule book or in the bylaws. I want to see it because, like you said, because for sure it couldn't have happened with the 6. Now with the 7, maybe, but I still don't see it happen even with the 7, bro. Because 4 teams of 7. From the same division, I just can't see that they would even want that to happen.
Okay.
Who's McBoy's 11? Who is that? McBoy's 11.
Let me see.
In the chat, he said that Steelers has confused. This ain't no Steelers hat cut. This is a Scully. It's cold in here, and I ain't turned my heat on. Got refused. But yeah, this ain't a Steelers hat. It's just the color.
Gotcha.
My Aunt Tracy, my dog, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Not my dog. Come on, man.
Well, speaking of the Steelers, Willie Jack, let's go ahead and talk about the Steelers, man. We had Cincinnati go to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, man. They win this game 37-30, man. What's up? You want to talk to us about it?
Yeah,
talk
man.
To us about it,
This is another one where I'm not gonna say that I'm super disappointed in like that because, like I said, man, I'd be lying if I say that, you know what I'm saying, this is a team we should have expected to win. You know what I'm saying? So or expected to beat or whatever. We beat them in the very first game of the season, and it took everything but the kid to sink to do it. You know what I'm saying? But just where we are as a team, I'm not gonna sit there and say that this is one that it's not whatever. I'm gonna let that go. The point of what I'm saying is we were in position to win this one, so I can't be too upset about the loss itself. I guess is what I'm getting at because it's not like this is a game we just gave away. But Pickett 25 for 42 for 265, 1 touchdown and 0 picks. Najee has another solid game for him, or as far as total stats go, 20 for 92, touchdowns. Pickens 4 for 83, 1 touchdown. Burrow on the other side, 34 for 39. 3 and change, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Big day for Higgins. Big day for Samaje Perine, 4 for 52 catching, 3 touchdown day for him. But honestly, man, the story of this game for me, as a Steelers fan, I'm gonna keep this quick, man, because I know y'all ain't worried about that. But just the offense, especially in the second half, we go into that game. I think we had a slight lead at halftime, or we got some style of stop or something before. No, we got a stop before halftime. Or no, maybe we did kick a field goal for halftime. Then we got the ball to open the second half. And so, honestly, in the first half, we actually had some things going offensively. The second half of that game was complete other. It was just a complete night and day from the first. Couldn't get anything going. The defense. Now, when you see a score 37 points, it leads you to believe that the defense just didn't do what they're supposed to do. But that's not exactly the case. Like I said, it's one of those things where the defense got forced 3 and outs or first four punts in that, or maybe it's 3. First 3 punts in that second half. It gave us the ball back and with good field position. I'm talking about stopping them inside their own 20, us getting the ball back on our own 50 or 40 or maybe even the 50 and going 3 and out, not even getting in field goal range. You know what I'm saying? For 3 possessions in the fourth quarter, including one of the last possessions where we also get a late stop and get the ball back to our offense as well and then I think we had like 2 consecutive sacks, and then a penalty that it was like it went to like 3rd and 22. You know what I'm saying? So just missed opportunities, man. Just the growing pains of having a young rookie quarterback. You know what I mean? Who's taking his lumps, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's a means to an end, man, and we get better for it in the future. TJ had half a sack and had an interception. And then we had another interception in this game, but yeah, man. So this is all just about getting experience for my young guys, man. Pickens, Freiermuth, Najee, seeing if he's going to be the guy, or we already need to start looking, man, because the people are unhappy with how he's performed so far. But yeah, man, just a young team taking their lumps, man. So I chalk it up to that.
I got you, man. So coming into this game, man, I said, man, all the Cincinnati Bengals need to do, based off the last performance, is not give up 7 sacks, and for Joe Burrow not to throw 4 interceptions. Joe Burrow threw 2 interceptions and only was sacked 2 times this game. So therefore, Cincinnati was gonna win this game, man. That's just what it is. Cincinnati was gonna win this game, but no, man. Joe Burrow had a pretty solid game, man. He did end up throwing 4 touchdowns in this particular game, and they were able to spread the ball around and do what they needed to do when it counted. You know what I'm saying? Big game for T. Higgins. I think you read off his stats, 9 for 148. So big game for him. But Cincinnati was able to, do what they needed to do, and take care of business and win this game, man. And win this game. I know we talked about the difference in this Cincinnati offense without Chase. It's looking like he's going to be coming back this upcoming week, man. So I'm anxious to see him back on the field with his team. And anxious to see what they really look like if they emerge as another contender in this AFC, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But other than that, man, hey, Willie Jack, you summed it up a lot. You summed it up nice, man. And Cincinnati was able to come away with this W.
Yeah.
On to the next, man. On to the next. We got the last game, actually, the last game of the week. We had San Francisco go to Arizona, man. San Francisco goes to beat Arizona 38-10, man. A straight blowout to the point where they actually pulled their guys from this game at one point, which I was happy about because I came away with the W in my fantasy league.
Oh, man.
Because C-Mac was on my tail. C-Mac, he had C-Mac and Jimmy G, and they was both on my tail. I was
they was cooking.
Oh, man, they was cooking. I needed them to slow down. But yeah, man, they took care of business, man. And even before this game started, Willie been saying it for a while, but before the game started, and Chop and Willie in the morning, I said that I felt like with all the additions that San Francisco has added, they could be a legit contender in this NFC, and they look like it. They came in and they was wrecking shop. On both sides of the ball, it was like, look, this our game, man. We're a different team. And teams are not going to want to see this San Francisco team as they continue to go through the season, man. That's one team that if you're in the NFC, you don't want to see, come across your schedule. So even in the playoffs, especially in the playoffs, honestly, because they're going to play physical, they're going to play fast, they're going to be dynamic. They're going to do everything that they need to do, to throw teams off. Jimmy G, 4 touchdown games, 0 interception. And again, it's what I be saying, man, about Jimmy G. When everything's working and Jimmy G can let the game come to him, man, these are the type of stats that he put up. 4 touchdowns. He didn't throw for a ton of yards, but still, like, he'll throw 4 touchdowns on a team whenever he can allow the game to come to him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he was able to do because he can turn around and hand the ball off. He can do. They handed the ball off to 7 different people this game. You know what I'm saying? 7 different people had carries in this particular game. Elijah Mitchell had 9. Christian McCaffrey had 7. You know what I'm saying? Debo had 3. Jordan Mason had 4. Hugheschick had 1. You know what I'm saying? They were just giving the ball to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Getting everybody in, getting everybody touches in this particular game. Debo had another Debo game where he was catching balls. You know what I'm saying? He was carrying the ball. Like, man, this team is going to be hard to stop, man. I don't see too many teams being able to beat this team in the playoffs, so they're going to be tough, man. But like I said, they come, they take care of business, and that just is what it is, man. The Arizona Cardinals, on the other hand, they were without Kyler Murray, man. They're starting quarterback. I mean, so that just gives you an example of what they could have possibly looked like in this game, which was, which was pretty bad. And hey, man, and you talking about one of the better teams in the NFC versus one of the worst without their starting quarterback. Hey, that's the outlook you go get, man.
I'm not gonna hold it against. I mean, not to say that I expected the Cardinals to win this game if Kyler was playing, but like I said, when you playing man down, when you without your quarterback, I mean, there's not much you can expect, especially from a team that like I said, that does have it in them. No, I wouldn't, Chop, because Tom said it's happened before, and I told him, give me the footage, give me the year it happened. He said it happened before, but it's all good. I was right. But let me talk to y'all about these Niners. First off, y'all welcome about these Niners, because your boy let y'all know, you know what I'm saying? I ain't been, man, your boy tried to let y'all know, boy, I can only take y'all to the water. But no, just what Chop say, and this is what I want to say about that as well, man. So what Chop just said about Jimmy, when the pieces are around him and he's able to make plays, when he's able to make plays without being counted on to make plays. So if the game, if we're just in a game and I can just go out there and make a play, like he can make a play. That sounds crazy, but I hope what I'm getting at is when the lights is on. That's what I always used to like to say, right? When the lights is on, when you're down, when you've got a minute 20 seconds and the Chargers just scored, and you've got to go a full 80 and make those throws and make those plays and lead us down the field and make that play. That's where Jimmy has struggled. But this goes back to the greater or the overarching point that I've made before, is that Jimmy, what he just said about Jimmy Garoppolo, letting the game come to him when there's pieces around him, when the situation is, like I said, when it's one that he doesn't have to rise above the team, he could just be in there and play his part, dink and dunk here, give a 12-yard pass to George Kittle, who breaks the tackle and runs another 10 yards for a touchdown, or give a 8-yard pass to Christian McCaffrey on the screen, and now he follows some guys and he runs for 30 yards, give a handoff to Deebo Samuel, who runs 40 yards for a touchdown. He can, like I said, we've seen that he can be a champion. He can be a championship contender. Like I said, that same guy was one throw away from being a Super Bowl champion right now over the Chiefs. And so, but the greater thing I was going to say about that is, like I've been telling y'all, Jimmy G is 80% of the league. Jimmy G is Kirk Cousins. Jimmy G is Ryan Tannehill. Jimmy G is Tua Tagovailoa. Like Tua is, like all these guys are the same guy. You know what I mean? So there's not many true difference makers at the position. And that's why I just want to come at, man, because Chop was talking my language, man. I tried to tell y'all, man. I tried to tell y'all, man. That's all I was going to say.
Hey, and for the record, man, I wasn't talking about your argument with Tom. You know, forget what you and Tom talking about.
I mean, that's where it was going, because Tom told me it's happened. And I was like, nah, bro. No.
Hold on.
And then you added another aspect of the thing when the buzz was flying. You know, when the buzz is flying, everybody's just going to get it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
you gotta, yeah.
Before we got into that, you mean you was the first person to talk. But before we get into that, Tom said something that brought up a memory of mine, right? Brought up a memory, right?
Damn!
I just thought about something, bro.
You so right, bro.
Because I don't know if I ever got those, man, my dog.
You so right. You show,
and I think I'm looking at you right now, bro.
Dog.
I think it's about that time, bro.
Dog, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You show right. I completely forgot, man.
I ain't gonna remind everybody, man. I'm just gonna hold you accountable, bro. I expect those this week, bro. Because
you gonna have them tonight, man. Yeah, you gonna have them tonight. I'm gonna go in the living room after we get off, man. I'm gonna post those to the group, man. I got you. I got you, man. Yeah,
my dog.
I mean, I just forgot though, honestly.
Good.
Real quick, man. Ma said Tua makes better throws than Jimmy G. You looking at it wrong, bro. And so I'm not saying there's not disparity in those lines. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, okay, think about what Chop said earlier. Bad is bad. I can sub in Mike White for Zach Wilson because Zach Wilson's playing bad. What I'm saying is,
first off, Chop ain't say that, bro.
That's what you just said.
No, stop throwing.
That ain't what you said.
Bro, you stop.
My bad. I thought that's what you said. Oh, my bad. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that throw for throw these guys are directly interchangeable, because there's gonna be throws that Tua makes that Jimmy can't make. There's throws that Kirk Cousins makes that Ryan Tannehill can't make, and there's throws that Ryan Tannehill makes that Tua can't make. So I'm not saying that all these guys. Well, Ryan Tannehill was just the victim of that circumstance because we was talking about Ryan Tannehill. But I've said that for years about Kirk Cousins. I've said it about Andy Dalton. All those guys are the same guy. And so it doesn't matter that we're saying Tannehill, because Tannehill is Jimmy G. Jimmy G is Tua. Tua is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is Dak Prescott. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Somebody might feel sorry about that. But like, all those guys are the same guy. You know what I'm saying? They need a successful structure around them. They can't make it happen when they're missing an ingredient. Patty makes it happen when something's off. Patty will make a cake without no eggs. You dig what I'm saying? Like, there's only a select group of guys that are true difference makers.
Project Pat, bro.
No, that's Patty, bro. He ain't got no project in him. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind we give him another name, but it ain't gonna be Project Pat, and he ain't got no.
It's Big Pat then. It's Big Pat. He ain't no patty cakes, man. We gotta stop that, bro.
But it's with love. It's said with love. You know what I'm saying? It's patty cakes, man. It's patty cakes. Come on, man. Patty cakes. I ain't even make that up. I think I got that from a Chiefs fan. Patty cakes. Maybe I made it up. I could be lying. But still, it fits. It can't be Project Pat, though. He got to have a little something on him. Boy,
he project on the field. He played like project.
Hey, now Miles just told me that Tua, Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, who else did I say? Dak Prescott, Andy Dalton, and Jimmy G are top 10 guys. So now you got to tell me your 10, dog. And you're running out of time because it's 9:03. So while Chop takes us into these Thursday games, give me your 10 in the list. I got to hear that. I got to see where these guys fall in your top 10, big dog.
I think he may be a couple of those guys that may fall in, but not all of them for sure.
Ain't no way all of them. Yeah, ain't no way. No, but and this is a good point as well, Miles. It makes a good point. It's not to say that in any given year or any given circumstance that Tua is a top 5 quarterback in the league right now. If you ask me right now today,
because it is top 5 quarterback. Because it is too.
Top 5. I'll go top 10. Yeah, I'll go top 10. I don't know. I'm not putting Cousins top 5 right now, but like right now, just.
Oh, okay, Mama, you said top 5. I was looking at the top. I was looking at the top 10.
Top 5 right now.
I was looking at the top 10, and I was saying that. Yeah, Tua top 5 right now.
Yeah,
top
right
10,
now, just how he
top
played
10 because he's a top 10 guy.
Matt Ryan was a guy like that. Matt Ryan won an MVP. So I'm not saying that these guys can't be successful. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying these are the guys that if I swap
the Matt Ryans, the Matthew Staffords, the Matt Ryans. I know what you're saying, Willie J.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I get what you're saying. I know when you say that all these guys aren't like specifically on the same level. You know what I'm saying? I know I would never sit up here and say Kirk that Ryan Tannehill is a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins, or that some of the other situations, some of the other quarterbacks you can probably name. I wouldn't say that specifically, but I get what you're saying in a sense where there's certain quarterbacks where it don't matter what's around them, they're gonna get the job done. You know what I'm saying? They are the elite of the elite. But then there's other quarterbacks where the situation needs to be right in order for them to be successful, and that's what it is.
And as much as nobody, and we don't like to say it, that's Tom Brady. That's Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Because we seen when it got a little ugly, how'd he look? He didn't look better than Jared Goff. How's it look right now for Aaron Rodgers? It don't look better than Jared Goff. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, it gets a lot. It's a Hoop Jogging Media for network in the building. Hey, stop that, man. Hoop, what's going on, man? That's my dog, man. Yeah, what's going on, man? I appreciate you coming through, man. You caught the wrap up, man. Go ahead and take us to the Thursday games, Chop.
All right, Willie Jack. Well, we got 3 Thanksgiving games, man. I told y'all early and often, man. We got 3 Thanksgiving games. We got to jump into them, man. We got some pretty solid games, man. Some games that I wouldn't mind seeing on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy some meal. Eat some turkey. You know, some dressing, greens, cabbage, sweet potatoes, macaroni. Man. Hey, woo, boy, y'all getting me hungry already. Y'all better stop it, man. But I enjoy my good meal, man, when I'm watching some of these games. And the first game we're gonna touch into, or we're gonna tap into, and we got Buffalo going to Detroit to take on the Lions. Willie Jack, who you got, brother?
Man, give me Buffalo, man. Well, Detroit's been the sacrificial lamb of Thanksgiving football since the beginning, man. For 40 years now. Now, mind you, like I said, they just gotta win. And maybe they don't just flat out lay down like they used to. And now, honestly, this game could be a little more competitive than maybe we would want to think on the surface. Detroit, like I've been saying all year, if they're not going to do anything else, they can score points. And Buffalo, for as talented as we know Big Josh is and that roster is, they aren't playing great. They just got to win in Detroit's building, mind you. Coincidentally, they just got to win in Detroit's building. But Big Josh wasn't a huge factor in that game as well. The run game led that day, led that charge unexpectedly. I don't know how many times that'll ever happen again. But this is a game where I still fully expect Buffalo to win this game. I'm not going to pick Jared Goff against Big Josh for sure. But it's not at all out of the brown possibility, brother. This could be a shootout. Like I said, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be surprised to see this game 35-31. I wouldn't be surprised to see this game 31-27. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Detroit, just the way that it just tends to fall out for whatever reason. I mean, like I said, if they don't do anything else, they may score points. I am going to take Buffalo at Detroit. And actually, man, I'm gonna go with that score. I'm gonna go 31-27. Buffalo returning to Detroit now 2 weeks in a row, and this time getting a dub against the hometown Lions.
Gotcha. And I'm gonna go Buffalo with the same score. So I'll give Buffalo 31, but I'm gonna go Detroit 17, man. I think Buffalo's defense will be able to do some things to Jared Goff, similar to how New England did. You know, now they won't hold the Detroit Lions. I don't see them holding them to 0 points, but I do think that they hold them enough to where this is not as close of a game. Now, Detroit is coming off of 3 wins, you know, so in a row, back-to-back wins.
Man, they are, boy, quiet little streak.
Yeah, they on a little bit of a streak, but I think this is where they come back down to earth, man. They go against a Buffalo team that's also, you know, still hungry. They coming off a win this particular game, but you know they're I think they feel like they could have performed better. Then the week before that, they had the loss against Minnesota. So this is a team that's still working on things, and they're gonna come into this game hungry still. So I still got them winning this game 31-17 with a little bit of a stretch in between that score. But that's how I see this particular game going. Gotcha. On to the next one, Willie Jack, man. We got a divisional matchup, man. We got the New York Giants at Dallas to take on the Cowboys, man. And I'm going Dallas in this game, man. I'm going Dallas. Yeah, I'm going against my dog, man. Offensive player of the year / best of the business. You know what I'm saying? Saquon Barkley, man.
Who? I didn't recognize him by none of them names you just called him. I didn't recognize him by. Are you talking about the second best running back in the NFC East? That guy.
No, we
that one. I got you now.
No, we ain't talking about Miles Sanders, bro. We ain't talking about Miles Sanders. But no, man, I'm going Dallas in this game, man. I got Dallas. Dallas, I think is coming off, of course, that huge win against Minnesota, coming off of a high. But I also think they just got too much for New York, man. I do think this is going to be a competitive game, but I don't think it's going to. I just got Dallas winning this game, man. They just got too much talent around them. They got a lot that can actually stop what New York Giants do on offense, but then also got a lot as far as what New York Giants will have to stop when they're on defense too. So I'm gonna stick with Dallas in this particular game, man. But I got it as a close game, man. I got Dallas winning this one, 27-24. My final score of this one, Dallas up.
No, I don't think Dallas gonna have any trouble with New York, man. On this, short week at the crib. I've got Dallas winning this 28-17, and then. Oh, my dog Hoop, man, my dog Cliff in the building, man. He's definitely taking that. Now he's a Dallas homer, man. And so the way you think I feel about the Steelers, boy, don't talk to Cliff and his Cowboys, man. And then he says they're gonna win the OBJ Bowl as well. Oh man, first off, OBJ ain't considering New York, dog. So
he is considering New York.
If that's what he told somebody, because he said it to be friendly, to throw the hometown some love. If y'all think he's considering going to play for the Giants at Danny Dimes, when he's also considering going to Dallas, playing in Jerry World, and maybe even considering playing with Patty Cakes, Daniel Jones and them Giants ain't got. He's been there, he's done that, he's conquered that. He's conquered New York, he's conquered LA. There's one more big market in this league, and that big market is Dallas. That's the only one he ain't touched. He touched the East Coast, West Coast. He only way he ain't been down south. He ain't trying to go up north because it's cold. You know what I'm saying? He's not going back to the Giants. Hell no, there's no way. But now we do want to talk to you. TP, man. TP, I disrespected you last week, my dog. Free TP, man. Free TP. TP gonna have a day this day, man. Or he's gonna continue doing what he's doing. And so I think this is what I tell you, Chop. I'll tell you what, best back on this field, head to head, is definitely gonna be Tony Pollard. Best back at NFC East. I'll tell you that. But I'm taking Dallas 28-17. And honestly, man, I think maybe. No, I'm not gonna lie, man. I think maybe this game it starts out competitive. Division rivals, you know each other well, etc. Everybody gets up for a divisional game. Guys are excited to play on Thanksgiving as well, so you'll get a little bit of that. But the talent for Dallas is overwhelming when compared to New York. So New York has got Saquon when he's on, and then that's it. Where Dallas has got TP, best back in the AFC East for sure. And then you still have overwhelmingly more talent at the other positions that matter. Man, it ain't even close, man. I'd have been telling y'all, man.
Man, you tripping, Willie Jack.
Man, come on, man. The best one in the NFC East. it's still New York's offense is 1 on 11. You know what I'm saying? When New York offensively is on the field, it's 1 on 11. You've got Saquon against 11 guys, and then some days Daniel Jones shows up. You know what I mean? He finds a Wandale Wright. He runs for 40 yards. I've already said that stuff before, so you know what's going on. And so some days it's 2 on 11, but for the bulk of these games, it's 1 on 11. And so that's not going to be enough for Dallas, especially Dallas coming off a big win in Minnesota. Now, just like I know you said you're not going to take much from it, and that's maybe fair, and that's probably true. You know what I'm saying? If we run that game right back, it's probably not as wide and split out like that. But the confidence and the performance is real, especially from that defense. And so the Giants as well, offensive line isn't special outside of that tackle. And I don't know if it's probably not right to call him special, but he's capable. He's strong for sure in Andrew Thomas out of Georgia. But so I think it's another day in which that defense really – I think that defense, that's what I should have said. The defense really makes their imprint on this game. Look for Micah and the rest of that defense to have another big day. They just came off of 7 sacks in Minnesota. Diggs probably gets his hands on one because when they do get down 2 touchdowns and Daniel Jones does have to throw the ball, who's he throwing to? And so I look for the Dallas defense to really make an imprint on this game as well. And then, like I said, man, TP and Zeke beat those boys to sleep and put it away.
Okay, gotcha.
Man, I don't know real quick. Miles said that Zeke played the backup role. Zeke been a backup for a long time. They just say nobody else knew but your dog. You know what I'm saying? So they need to quit letting Zeke steal TP touches is what we need to do. Zeke owed TP 2 touchdowns. TP should have had 4 touchdowns against Minnesota. But yeah, it's all good. Yeah, he been the backup, bro. He's an excellent blocker. They might well
I'll tell you this though. On those 2 touchdowns, Zeke got those 2 touchdowns because TP couldn't put it in. You know what I'm saying? He got some carries on that goal line, man. I'm telling you that. You watch? Did you watch it?
No, what I'm saying is, in that instance, okay, you're right. But don't talk like he's incapable, because there's more footage of Zeke not being able to do much of anything besides being a bowling ball on the 3-yard line.
Zeke did what he was supposed to do. He did what he was supposed to do.
3 yards in the cloud.
That's all.
Yeah, I ain't
that's
mad
all.
Yeah,
that's all. On to the next one, man. The last game of the night, man. We had New England going to Minnesota. Give me Minnesota in this particular game, Willie Jack. Now, I do think this game is very interesting because I think Bill Belichick, just like he does with some of those quarterbacks, it's almost like any quarterback that's capable of committing mistakes or that can be inconsistent, Bill Belichick finds a way to neutralize them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. I think this is a game that could be interesting because of that, because I think that New England Patriots defense and Bill Belichick can do something to where it makes Cousins look inconsistent, forces them into some mistakes and forces them into some, overall bad plays. But I just think the Minnesota team is a little bit too much for this Patriots team. I don't think they are as talented as we've seen the Patriots in those Brady years and in those Super Bowl years. So
goes without saying.
I don't think this is the team that'll be able to do that to this Minnesota Vikings team. So I'm gonna go Minnesota in this game, man, and they come away with this W. And they a 20-17 game, man. 20-17. Oh. Minnesota comes away with this W. Although Bill Belichick also has a great record against number 1 receivers. I think Justin Jefferson has a pretty solid game this game, man. I don't think it's another one of his 150-yard games, but I do think he cracks at least 90 this game. He gets at least 90 yards and maybe gets in the paint one or 2 times. So we'll see how this game plays out. But yeah, I got Minnesota in this game, man.
No, I got you. And honestly, for no other reason than it's the Patriots. And Kirk Cousins just got embarrassed on TV at the crib, got 40 ball at the crib, and now you come back and now you play Bill Belichick. Just I don't know. I wish I don't know, man. I'd almost like to see Bill go in there and still win. I just want him to. But no, I'm taking Minnesota to win the game. I'm going 24-10. And this is the thing as well for this. This is the thing that I don't really see New England winning this game, not without another special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown as well. But seeing Minnesota's performance or seeing how Minnesota failed to protect Kirk Cousins, that's interesting though, because Matt Judon quite as kept. Well, not quite. It's known. He's leading the league in sacks right now. I want to say 13, 14 sacks, leading the league. And so New England can get after the quarterback. And we just seen Kirk Cousins, like I said, 7 sacks tallied, running for his life, getting hit and getting knocked to the ground probably another dozen times. And so New England, if they are able to be successful in the pass rush and really get back there, and maybe one of those sacks is a strip, maybe one of those strips gets picked up and ran back into scoring position or even into the end zone. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Marcus Jones, or I think his kid's name is Marcus Jones. Maybe he returns another punt for a touchdown. And so seeing Minnesota just completely pee to bed the way they just did on national TV at home, getting 40 ball, and so I won't put anything past anybody playing them here, especially when it's somebody like the Patriots who, like you said, they're looking for anything at all that they can do to make things uncomfortable for you. But Minnesota should be too much. They should have all the motivation they need to bounce back and perform strongly as well. But yeah, I'll go 24-10. And I think this is a game that 24-10 is a two scores, a 14-point spread. But I think it's a game that feels a lot closer than the final score winds up being, because I do think that New England makes Kirk uncomfortable and makes this an ugly one that they rise to the occasion in the second half and win. My dog Cliff, man, hoop jargon, he said give him mini by plenty, man. He don't even see it close. He think Minnesota just goes out there and get their lick back. So he said give him mini by a lot.
We'll see, man. We'll see. That wouldn't surprise me either, man, coming off that terrible loss. So we'll see.
I mean, yeah, and the Patriots offense is led by Mac Jones and Mac Jones. So there's just not much there going on. I don't know, man. Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, maybe they do something crazy, but too many things got to go right, man. Too many things got to go right for those Patriots to really, or to have me put my money on them going in. I tell you that.
For sure. Willie Jack, man, that's it. That's all, man. We pretty much went through all the, well, not pretty much. We went through all the Week 11 games, man, that happened, and we also touched on those Thursday Thanksgiving games, man. Willie Jack, man, it's about time for you to bring us home, bro.
Hey, man, there you have it, man. You heard what my dog just said, man. Week 11 is in the books, man. We appreciate all the love and support as always, man. And let me run back through. Roll call real quick, man. Who was in the building? Real Deal STL Sports is in the building, holding us down as always, man. We appreciate the love over at Big Dog. My dog Kevin was in the building as well, man. Who stopped through? My dog Miles in the building. Tom was in the building, man. Hoop Jargon, man. My dog Cliff, man. Hoop Jargon Media Network in the building. Man, appreciate the love, Big Dog. Man, I'm looking for y'all, man. My dog Miles came through, man. Johnny, man, Show Me Vision Entertainment was in the building, man. Appreciate the love, Big Dog, as always, man. Oh, man, Day One Gang Jarrell was in the building as well, man. Appreciate the love, Big Dog. The home team was here, man. My moms, my sisters fell through, man. Appreciate the love. Y'all know what's going on. Hey, I'm looking for you. My dog Tom was in the building for sure. Appreciate that, Tom. I'm looking for you. Man, Lawrence in the building for sure, man. What's going on? Hey, I'm looking for you. Hey, y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all can say it with me. I said enough. If I forgot to say your name, come on, man. Charge it to my head, man. Don't charge it to my heart. You know we thinking about you, Big Dog. We appreciate the love and support, man. I say that at least 4 times when we sign it off, man, because we mean it, bro. We couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't want to do it without you, even if we could. So appreciate that, man. Y'all tune back in, man. Wednesdays at 7, man. We ain't going nowhere. Y'all already know what's going on, man. Wednesdays at 7, we ain't wearing no watches because you ain't got nowhere else to be at 7 o'clock. But that size in here, chopping it up with your dogs, man. Circle back, man. Come back and holler at us on Sunday mornings, man. Sunday, 10 o'clock. Get your pregame together. Holler at Michael Strahan. Holler at them boys over on TV as well. And then come tap in with your dogs, man. We dropping jewels on Sundays, man. So come in there, fool with us, man. Get jiggy, man. We appreciate the love and support again. I told you I'm not going to stop saying it. Miles in there talking in the chat real quick. Oh, man, boy. Oh, you want to talk about nothing? Boy, I interrupted my sign-off thinking you was talking about something, Miles. Don't do that to me. But until we meet again, Sunday, until I see y'all Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning, man, y'all boys be safe, have fun, enjoy y'all Turkey Day, enjoy your Thanksgiving, man, enjoy your football. The chat will be open, man, so get in the chat. Talk to me, man. Let me know how your turkey was. Let me know how your team doing, if your team's playing. Other than that, man, hey, as always, peace.
Peace.